Show Podcast, episode 93. My name is Jason Arriola, and joining me today is John Lucero.
Hello.
And Joe.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, man. Hey, it's good to get you back on. See, I told you I was going to kind of squirm you back onto this damn thing one way or the other.
Oh, it's fine. This is an interesting topic. Yeah.
Yeah, before we get to the interesting topic, which is the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah,
That wasn't exactly the best way to transition, but
sold it.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. Sounds really convincing,
I've been doing this thing for I don't know how long now, and I'm still a terrible host, but, whatever. We're still doing it.
No,
so.
You're just fine. No, it's fine.
yeah, I'm just fine. I appreciate that. Anyway,
just fine. Yeah.
All right, so it's been a long time since we've actually done a regular show now, I think, at this point, so why don't we do a very quick rundown of what we've been playing. I guess I'll kick off real quick with this. I've been playing the Secret of Mana remake, kind of concurrently with the original Secret of Mana. I've been kind of going back and forth, like I'll play an hour of one and then go back to the other. Cool. As much as people are kind of ragging on it, there are definitely some issues. One of them is the Chobin hoods, who can now fire diagonally and just completely destroy you if you're not careful. That wasn't really a problem in the original Secret of Mana. I'm not a big fan of the graphics, but I can kind of deal with it.
Sure.
I turned off the voice acting. And
okay, I was going to ask you about the voice acting.
Oh yeah, it's not good. I think the big problem with the voice acting for me is that there's no lips moving at all.
Oh,
it's weird. I mean, even if the lip sync doesn't match, it just these dull, lifeless characters just screaming or trying to emote and just no mouth moving whatsoever. It's like, okay, guys, come on. I mean, at least do some kind of like cheapo, their mouth is open when they're talking.
Synchrovox, yeah.
It's
like Crash Cargo.
Like what?
Oh, there was this old show, Crash Cargo or Clutch Cargo, and they would have a cartoon, and then there would be video footage of a person's mouth talking. Oh. They would superimpose that over it. It was that thing from if you remember in Pulp Fiction. Yeah, just this little method. Anyway, sorry.
That would be more money than I think they'd be willing to spend on this. God, I still don't understand why they just didn't give us the damn Seiken Densetsu collection thing over here instead of this. But anyway, the music, by and large, I'm gonna say I'm 3/4 more towards the original, maybe more than that. But
it's completely remastered, right? All the music.
Yeah, not remastered, redone.
I mean, redone. Yeah,
these are recompositioned, basically.
Yeah,
I would say the only one that has been better is what is the, I guess, considered, and for good reason, because it is the worst track of the Secret of Mana soundtrack, and that is the the Dwarf Village thing. Oh boy, I mean, just the original. That is like the one instant skip on that album for me. I mean, other than that, I love that entire soundtrack, and it's been very important to me as far as getting me into video game soundtracks. It's actually a tolerable song in this remake. It's not good. I'm certainly not going to sit there and jam out to it, but it doesn't make me want to just put the TV on mute and listen to anything else. So
put that on the box right there. There you go.
Yeah, it doesn't make me want to put it on mute. Jason Arriola.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which for as much as I hate the original version of that sound or of that song on that soundtrack, that's actually probably some decent praise, but ultimately, I mean, it feels pretty similar to the original Secret of Mana. Any of the hiccups that I think that people are playing with and seeing, they're present in the original one too. I'm gonna say the AI might be actually a little worse in the remake, because I'm noticing the two AI characters will get stuck on shit that for a lot longer than they do in the original version. But other than that, I mean,
that took talent.
The AI got worse.
Yeah.
It's spared no expense.
The whole being able to attack diagonally now is a little strange. I don't know. It just
does that take away challenge from the game? I feel like it would make it easier.
There was still an arc to your attacks. You could still hit diagonally, but now it's you can actually kind of move diagonally a little bit more, I guess, accurately. And just I don't know. It's as far as the projectile stuff goes, it makes it, I wouldn't even say challenging, just not fair, because you get the sprite, Popoi, I think is how you pronounce its name, and right when you go into that area where the first Chobin hoods are, and I think within 30 seconds of getting in there, it just got basically what's the phrase? Stun locked and murdered. I was like, okay, well, that's great. Thanks. That did me no fucking good bringing you here. So I had to go and grind up with it for a little while. So, but other than that, honestly, I don't see the disdain for this game that a lot of people have. I kind of enjoy it. It's not the original. And it's definitely got its own little set of quirks, but the original Secret of Mana had a lot of, we'll say, hiccups and problems as well. So.
Part of that was because of it was kind of between systems. They were, if I remember correctly, weren't they developing that for the SNES CD, the PlayStation? And then they kind of stopped and then, got repurposed, and that's, yeah. But then you look at Seiken Densetsu 3, and that is one of the buggiest games on Earth, and I understand that that's one of the reasons why that they didn't release it here is because they were having problems with actually, being able to get to work.
See, I just thought it was the localization thing.
I think that's the other thing too. It's just, they really, it was a lot of effort and money and stuff, and I'm guessing they just didn't want to put that into there, especially so late in the game. But then they, gave us Secret of Evermore, which, I think that was one of the reasons I never really played that, is because I was pissed off that they didn't give us the real, game. But anyway, whatever.
I really gave Seiken Densetsu 3 the old college try, like way, way, way back. I mean, I'm talking like probably 2000. I tried playing in an emulator, and I had found somebody who had translated the script online, and so I read it online while I'm playing the goddamn thing. So, jeez. I played it for, I don't know, it was maybe an hour's worth of gameplay, and that probably took me like 4 or 5 hours of like going between screens or whatever. I'm like, okay, this is here, and this is what they said. Okay, so this goes to this thread, and then this goes to the, Jesus Christ. After about like 4 or 5 hours, that's like, I am not doing this. So
that sounds great. That sounds like an ideal way to experience that game.
Yeah. Before things were patched like that, that was I could either learn Japanese or just move on. So I decided to move on. So
it added a lot of dramatic tension to each scene too, because how long you had to take between reading it and things happening. So it's a different game at that point, really.
Yeah. I don't think it would ever feel the same, and if I ever got the real translation. Of course, I do have the the patched version with an English translation on my GPD DX sitting there. It's just a matter of like, well, that's like a 20-something hour game, and I don't know when I'm going to get around to it. And I still sort of have a little bit of a stick up my butt about that memory of sitting there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes of gameplay and playing it for 4 hours. So that was that might be a point of contention for me for the rest of my life. As far as the like that Super Famicom CD thing, I think it was like a lot of cut content, but like I don't know, maybe it was like Retronauts. I think it was Jeremy Parrish was talking about it, where it actually wasn't as much as I don't know, like it wasn't, they didn't cut as much as, I don't know, some people think. It may have just been that the script just never made sense, and I'm kind of curious if the Secret of Mana, or like the re-release, this remake of it, fixes any of that, because man, there was some stuff in there. You're just like, wait, why did this happen? And what? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't played it all the way through since I was about, I don't know, maybe 13, 14. So it's been a while, but man, I do remember just getting very confused at some spots in that game. So plot wise, but ultimately, it's an action RPG with a great soundtrack. So I mean, for me, it wasn't like, I'm like, okay, I get the gist of the story. It's like I don't really need to. I don't know. I don't feel the need to dwell in the narrative too much. So anyway, so that's been the Secret of Mana remake for me. John, you want to kick us off with? You've been playing a few things. Why don't you kick us off with whatever the hell strikes your fancy to talk about first?
I guess talk about Monster Hunter first. It's the newer one. I've been playing Monster Hunter World. It's a video game about hunting monsters, and I put about 20 hours into it. I have a little over 20 hours. And I haven't played it in about a week, so it's not quite as fresh in my mind. But it's very good. I like the combat quite a bit. It has the the combo strings that I like in my action games, and it has secret combo strings too, and it allows you to experiment a bit with it. It's a little, it's deliberate in the Dark Souls way, even though Monster Hunter came out before Dark Souls. But so it's but it's also way more forgiving. Like the hitboxes on monsters are bigger than they probably should be. But I appreciate it, and it allows you to do cool things. There's a lot of cool movement stuff, like sliding. If you get enough momentum going down the hill, you start sliding, and if you leap up, you can use your attack to get on the monster's back like that, and or do a drop attack. A lot of cool stuff like that. It's just a really good like killing, like got to kill like 30 minutes to an hour. Go do a hunt or two really quick. Get some gear, make your dude look a little different. It has a very good sense of progression to it, as long as you can make sense of some of the weirder systems in it. It's not too obtuse. I feel like people make it out to be more obtuse than it actually is. It's just it has strange terminology, or like just the simple thing, like instead of like start a quest, it's like post a quest, which makes more sense in context, because it allows you post a quest, you put a quest up, and then your party can still keep going. It loads the quest for you, and then everyone can agree to start it or not. So it kind of makes more sense in game, stuff like that. There's a lot of cats in this game, that anthropomorphic cats, the palicos. They're fun. They cook your food. They assist you in your hunts. There's, it's exactly what you think it is. It's like
you basically can't go into this game expecting it to be an arcade action game. You do have it is more methodical than that. Doesn't it lie kind of, what did you say, like lies somewhere in between, like we'll say Dark Souls and like like a Devil May Cry type game, somewhere in between there.
Definitely closer to Dark Souls, but yes, it does have it falls in the middle of that spectrum for sure. And you will be hunting the same monsters a lot. If you want to get the good gear, you'll have to hunt monsters over and over again to get drops, and there are random drops, which can be very frustrating. As you hunt monsters more, it increases like your notes on them, so you can see what the chances of getting a drop are, which is helpful, and also weak points and stuff. But it doesn't bother me as much, because usually repetition in games kind of gets to me like grinding. It doesn't feel as much as grinding though. It just feels like you're getting better at hunting those monsters, because over time it takes less and less time to kill one, like an Anjanath, which is basically just a fire-breathing T-Rex with some like weird wings on it. It took me like 30, 45 minutes to kill the first time, and now I can kill it about 15 to 20. So it has a nice sense of progression to it that I really like.
Are you playing solo, or are you playing with friends, or just kind of randos?
I've been playing solo the whole time. That's another. Actually, it reminds me of a very annoying thing in that game. The story missions, which comprise a large majority of how much of your early game, you cannot do co-op in a story mission, and you cannot have other people in a story mission with you until you've seen every cutscene. Until every player has seen every cutscene in that mission.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it is.
That sounds a bit like a downer.
Yeah, it's a hell of a choice in that game. And like they don't take too long to get to. Usually, it's usually just seeing the monster triggers a cutscene, and then then it tells you now you can. It's called you shoot a SOS flare out, and people can randomly join your game, or friends can join that way. And that's just story missions. There are other optional side missions, and that's where most of your time will be anyway. There's like optional hunts or arena hunts, and so on and so forth, that you can do co-op from the get-go. So it's just like early on, it will be way more frustrating to get a game going with someone else. But once you kind of get everything going, deeper in, there are a lot of quests in that game that aren't story missions. So it's not a bummer it's a bummer at the beginning. Eventually, it's not that much of a bummer. So it's kind of like a cop out, I guess, to say like it's not that bad, because it is a really shitty design choice. But
you think after like 15 entries of these things, they would have maybe tightened that up a little bit, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, this is still like way more accessible than the other ones are. Yeah. So they're getting there, I guess. And this game is selling fucking like crazy. So
Yeah, am I remembering right that they've said that this is their best-selling game of all time, like period?
yeah, and this is Capcom.
Yeah, I
Capcom
mean,
we're
yeah,
talking
this
about.
is
Pretty
not
crazy.
some
Yeah,
Johnny
yeah,
come lately to the video game industry. This
yeah,
is somebody who's been around for a few decades. So it's like, whoa, okay,
Jeez.
good job,
yeah.
guys.
These are the Resident Evil and Street Fighter people. So
Oh,
they
even
sell.
before that, Mega Man, for God's sakes. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
Mega
talking,
Man,
we're talking 8-bit roots here. So
Devil May Cry. They've made in Dead Rising sold a lot too. So yeah, they sell games. Their hits are hits. So that is nothing to sneeze at. This game is doing very well. I think the first big monster DLC is coming out. I think the Devil Joe is the first one they're going to release. And I believe all their monster hunts are going to be free DLC, like they were previously. I don't know if they've gone out and said that yet. I think people mostly assuming they will be. But on all previous, like the previous 3DS games, at least, all the additional hunts were free that were added in. So, and new monsters and costumes and stuff. The gestures are very expensive though. They released the Ryu skin, and that's you had to hunt the same. You had to do a special hunt 7 times, or you had to. If you didn't get an A on it, you had to do it like 7 times on the hunt. If you got A's, you can do it like 3. Anyway, you get a Ryu skin with it. His Street Fighter 5 skin, and
is that the sexy bearded Ryu?
no beard.
Oh,
No.
doesn't count then.
It is the same heavy black line art style though.
Okay.
So it's a good it's not very good armor. It's a good looking costume. It's not very good. And
definitely form
yeah.
over function on that.
Yeah. The gestures, you could buy a Hadoken or a Shoryuken, I believe, were the 2 choices. They were $4 a piece.
What the hell?
Jimmy, Christmas.
And to be fair, they are the moves. Like it does shoot a Hadoken out of your hand, and you can use it without the Ryu costume, so that's cool. But $4 is a lot for that.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, people were remember the castle burning we were going through with the Bethesda and the horse armor. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so you win some, you lose some, I guess.
Yeah, Capcom's always kind of done this weird DLC thing because, wasn't there a release like a few years ago where they had stuff on the disc and you just had to pay like an unlock thing for it? It's like, well,
SF X Tekken.
Yeah.
Cross Tekken. That's it.
Yeah. It was that game had a lot of weird decisions in it, so that was just the biggest one.
I think that game just is a weird decision.
Yeah. Still waiting on Tekken Cross Street Fighter any day now.
It's still happening.
Yeah.
I think the last I heard a year ago, they were like, it's still happening. Like,
sure. I mean, they put Akuma and Tekken that seemed to work, I guess. So
sure,
that's proof of concept, I guess.
Yep. That is on the forefront of every fighting game person's mind right now is Akuma and Tekken. So anyway, so you're liking Monster Hunter World is the general consensus I'm getting out of this?
Yeah, it's a very good game.
Cool.
I'm not like in love with it or anything, but it's very good. I've had a very good time with it.
Yeah. Right. Good. And Joe, you why don't you go ahead and tell us what you've been playing there?
2 things. Before this, I was playing Dynasty Warriors 9, and then I just got Earth Defense Force 5, the Japanese version. They haven't announced it here yet. I'm sure they'll be releasing it here soon, but that one's really good. I've always loved that series, and I mean it's a lot of repetition and stuff, but this one in particular, they made a lot of changes where there's a lot of things that they've cut down on, kind of the worst parts of the game, which was having to complete the missions on every difficulty. Now, if you complete it on a higher difficulty, everything below that's been cleared. So the other cool thing about it is, it's all about basically grinding for weaponry and getting newer and better weapons so you can beat the harder versions of the missions. And in this one, you can actually power up older weapons and things like that. So, the older ones aren't as useless after you upgrade, and just little things like that. They've added some new things like, it's I mean, it's a lot of more of the same. I haven't really played that far in. I'm only about 10 missions in. There's usually about 50 for, yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun. As far as Dynasty Warriors goes, I'm not, I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's not as good as, I mean, a lot of games.
Ringing endorsement. That now, if ever there was a back of the quote or
no, everybody,
there, Joe.
No, yeah, people are just really ragging on it, and
yeah,
I actually, people, it's not nearly as bad as. I mean, it's not even bad. It's just the problem is, I just don't have the time for it, and I started playing it. The problem is it goes through a lot of the story, and I've read the novel before, and basically it goes through stuff that they haven't covered in the other games. But it's kind of like, okay, Liu Bei, there's in the past, it was usually, okay, we're going to cover these main battles and then you'll have these characters and you go through them. Now it's like, okay, well, you have the major battle in between there's like, okay, Liu Bei fucks up again and gets demoted. Liu Bei goes and gets breakfast at Waffle House. You'll have like these little things,
man,
and
I want
it's
that
just.
in the game. Is that in the game?
I wish. No.
Might make it more compelling.
No, it's just the problem is it's just like there's so much stuff. So like there's supposed to be 13 chapters, and after maybe 20 hours of playing, I'm only on chapter 3. It's just yeah.
Wow.
And that's for one of the, and you have the different factions. So it's kind of like, well, I'm probably going to play through it once, and that's about it, because I sure as hell ain't going to play through it more than once at that rate.
It's been a good long while since I played one of these. Do you ever get to play as like the people from the Yellow Turban Rebellion in like an alternate history thing where you win and you like take over everything?
Well, you get to play like in a mission or whatever. They'll have the individual characters in the kind of like, okay, these guys don't fit into anything, category. There's always like a fourth category where you can play as them, and but no, this one it just follows the story, and it kind of it's my understanding it'll jump around. Like once you get to the point where your character dies or whatever in history, like it stops apparently, so you have to play as somebody else. But it's like the map, it's an open world now, and
that's weird.
It kind of works out okay, because like if you're into like crafting kind of stuff and collecting things and finding treasure and exploring, it's kind of fun. They added this new thing and the best part about it, I think, is the grappling hook. You can in the past,
grappling hook.
Yes, you have a grappling hook.
Historically accurate.
Okay, yeah.
Well, no, I mean it's not like a bionic commando type thing. It's like you throw it and you climb up the wall or a tree or something. But it's pretty cool because and you don't like swing. It's just for I'm climbing a thing vertically, kind of grappling hook. But it's cool because real contemporary reference, kind of like the Tenshu grappling hook. Yeah, it's just it's it's not even like shoot and fly over a little bit. It's just I'm using this to scale, a wall, and that's actually pretty useful because a lot of times you'll have a mission where if you just want to cut through it, and I think that's kind of where I'm at, because I was playing through kind of how you would traditionally, where you fight through things and stuff, and you go through it, you try and kill all the commanders and stuff to get as much as you can. But the problem is if you do that, you're going to drive yourself nuts, and I started finding that out. So what you want to do is, if you're strong enough to where you're not going to get killed when you go take on the boss, then you just basically take the grappling hook, you climb up a wall, go in through the back, and then go straight for the boss rather than fighting everybody else. And you can do that. And in a way, it kind of breaks the game, and it kind of, I guess, negates a lot of it, because it's like, okay, in the past there used to be these little things like, for instance, whenever you had the Yellow Turban revolt, there were the parts where they had the different traps, like they were using different types of magic. Now you can just kind of bypass all that. You just go over the wall and go kill them, and you're done. And that's the thing. But I do like that there's that option, because you don't really have to mess around with it. The combat's a little different too. You have these weird I don't even know there's like a name for the system or whatever, but you can do like a launcher or a guard break or something like a knockdown move. And unfortunately, you're kind of forced to use it, but at the same time, it's like, well, okay, at least I'm not just hitting, square, 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 triangle anymore. It's a little, now you're doing one of those and then hitting square, 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 triangle. But it's
breaks up the monotony of square, 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 triangle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So no,
Game changer.
yeah, it is. No, there's a hunting system now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you go hunting for bears and tigers and shit like that, and then
Sure.
the best part though is you can actually, one of the easiest ways to level up is you go and find bandits. Like there's random bandits in the woods and stuff that'll attack you, and you find like ones that are like super overpowered. Well, if you use the bow and hit them in the head, it kills them instantly. So you can like hit these guys that are like 30 levels over you, and bam, you go up like a level or two, and then you just keep doing that. You just have to cheese them and stuff. Now, if they catch you, you're dead. But But anyway, I haven't gotten too far. I'm only like I just got to the point where they're like just starting to do the three kingdoms, the three major factions, and it's pretty fun. It's just the thing is, it is very time consuming and something that I would just like been all over in college, but right now I just don't have a hell of a lot of time. So that's kind of the thing. So I just started Earth Defense Force, and that's kind of a time consuming or a time sink, but at the same time, it's a lot easier to just kind of pick up and stuff. But I'm looking forward to that one because they've got a lot of new giant bug enemies and stuff like that. Like now you get to fight pill bugs. So
cool.
Fun.
Actually, so how like if I was to import this thing, am I going to be able to play this with zero knowledge of Japanese?
Yeah, you could play the actual game. It's easy, but then you have to kind of like, for instance, if you're looking at the weapons and stuff like that, there's like walls of text and stats and stuff. You have to either be familiar with the previous games or get like a reference or something like that. But you should be able to play it. It's really not that difficult. And actually, one of the reasons I'm happy is because I've been really trying to kick up the Japanese learning, and I'm like, holy shit, I can actually understand some of this now. And it's kind of good because what they'll do is they'll say a lot of the same thing over and over again. It's like, okay, I remember that word. Let me look that word up, and then you start to remember it. So it kind of comes in handy. So. But all in all, I mean, it's a lot of fun. I'd probably wait because I think like in the case of the last couple of games that released it in Japan, and then maybe like 6 or 8 months later, they had the American release. And
yeah, Xseed's been doing those, right?
I think so. Yeah. I can't remember about but otherwise, it's a lot of fun. One thing I do like is they've improved like the vehicles, because in 2017 they were all useless. They were just garbage, and then they're also really dorky looking. Oh, I mean, everything's kind of dorky looking.
I was gonna say,
well, your guys are they look like people from the different science patrol things from Ultraman, but
It's a good look.
Yeah, well, and then in this one, you actually like if you start as a soldier, you're actually just a security. You're like a random security guard. So, and that's like at the beginning, you basically start out as like a grunt, like a janitor type position at the base, and then people get killed in front of you, and you have to like run away like at the beginning. So it is interesting. The tutorial's kind of interesting because they're like, yeah, we had a whole bunch of people get killed. We need you to. Learn how to fight. So
here's a gun, guy.
Like, yeah, here you go.
Hope you can mop up the bugs like you mopped up the shit on the floor.
Yeah. Now but yeah, that's pretty much it on that game. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So, I mean, it's not a lot different from 4.1, but they made a lot of improvements. So I would say that if you like that series or if you've played those games and you enjoyed them, definitely check it out when they get released over here. So,
cool.
As for Dynasty Warriors 9, I liked it. If you like the series, I would say don't listen to the reviews. At least check out borrow it from a friend or something. The only problem is it is a lot more time intensive than the other. Well, Yes and no, because the other one was, the other ones have been pretty grindy too. But this one, it's more story focused, I guess. And then you have, there's just a lot of stuff to do. And the problem is you can get lost really. Oh, yeah, the map. It's this like gigantic area. You're just, you really do have to use horses to get around in it. And there is a fast travel, but you have to unlock landmarks and stuff to be able to get to those. And it is kind of fun unlocking the different hidden areas and stuff like that. It is kind of it is pretty fun. It's just very time consuming. So I guess that's it.
Cool.
All right.
John. See, they have too many J's on this damn podcast. Joe, Jason,
What are you talking about, Jason?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. John, you had one more game you wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah, we can talk about it pretty quick. We've talked about it before. Rainbow Six Siege, which is a game we have played on. We have video of us playing on the site, very expertly, I might add.
Yes, if you ever want to see Brittany breakdancing just before a grenade blows her to pieces, that would. Man, I am so glad we captured that on video.
Yeah, recently they had a free weekend in this game. I think 2 to 3 weeks ago. I don't quite remember. And we got some of my friends to try it out because me and Brittany already owned it. And they got really into it. Like, and it's $40, so it's not as big of an investment as a game usually is. It's still pretty expensive for a game that's like 3 years old. But that's beside the point. They just started their year 3, and this game is like kind of like the poster child for like post-release support in a way, because they have I think they have with year 3 and the release of their new Chimera and Outbreak expansion, they have the highest player count they've ever had. So like that's impressive 3 years later. So especially for a game that I didn't think it was going to make it when it first came out, because it wasn't as good. And they've just improved on it. They've added a bunch of new characters to it. The Outbreak mode they released is like interesting co-op mode. It's like a 1 month event. It's Left 4 Dead, very Left 4 Dead inspired. It's like 3 teams of 3, and you each get pick a different character with different abilities. It's a shrunk roster. I don't remember. I think it's like 9 or 10 from the roster they put in there. You also have to own the characters, I believe, to use them. So, I don't know if we have to own now you don't have to own the standard characters, because they just made all the original 20 characters free and all the weapons attachments. Just get them now, everything. That was like a show of good faith from a bad decision they made, I guess, recently, where they decided that they were going to stop. They said they were going to stop selling the standard edition and only sell the more expensive edition of the game, and players were not happy with that choice. So they're like, "Whoa, we're just kidding. We're just kidding. Here's all these characters for free.
Yeah.
By the way, in case
we're gonna do that, but we're gonna
Yeah.
not make it grind to get some of these characters. So cool. We good?
So yeah, now we have all original 20 characters, so it's a very large set to choose from. And it's just a really solid multiplayer game, as long as you don't mind like dying quickly. It's very tactical. It's very communication heavy, very sound design heavy. So I recommend having a good headset when playing it. This community is, it's not the best community in the world. I would recommend being in a party when playing, as I do most online games, or all online games, if I'm being honest. Mm-hmm. So there's that team, because team killing is a thing in this game. So I had a guy kill me, I think, because I picked the character he wanted. I couldn't talk to him because I was in a party, but he shot me at the beginning of the match. Oh. So my friend shot him naturally. Chain reaction. but I refrained. Yeah, I refrained from shooting him the next round. I wanted to, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be the bigger person here.
It's an online game. Why?
Because of it, they would have probably kicked me out of the game. It would have kicked me out of the game, I think, because eventually it just kicks people. The most recent one that did something like that out of the game, I think. So, also you can vote to kick people out if need be. It needs up to 4 people have to agree out of the 6 to kick someone out, or 5. I think it's 5. Yeah. So yeah, I've been having it's been nice having a different multiplayer game that's other than Overwatch, which we still play a lot of. new character coming out pretty soon. So they just ended their Lunar New Year event. Still a great multiplayer game. Best one is one of the best ones ever made. And Siege is very good too. So
yeah, it's that's one of those things like I want to get back into. Actually, Gore is the one who brought up the what is it, the Outbreak thing to me, and I was like, oh, I gotta check that out. And I was like, hey, did you have that? And I was like, yeah, you bought it for me. I was like, oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, the Outbreak thing is it's intense. Like their enemies are like, pretty aggressive, and they're pretty they swarm you a lot. They definitely take the Left 4 Dead inspiration seriously. It's not quite as in large of hordes, but they take more damage than the ones in Left 4 Dead do. So it's kind of a trade-off. Also, you don't move quite as fast as you do in Left 4 Dead. So
I'm alright with that.
Yeah. On the negative side, it kind of makes me want to play Left 4 Dead, from being honest. So,
Yeah, I mean, this Outbreak thing is only going for a few weeks. I mean, that's in our news story, so we'll get to that later. But yeah. So. Anyway, I guess that will wrap up what we've been playing. So let's move on to the bulk of this part of the episode here, and that is going to be the latest Nintendo Direct, which was, it was only like half hour, 38 minutes or so, somewhere in that ballpark. But there was
like 30 exactly.
Like a ton of stuff there. So, I guess we'll run down these things, and as you guys see fit, if there's anything you want to comment on, please do. First off, man, they're really holding true to that thing of they're going to continue to support the 3DS.
Yeah.
I was pretty surprised with how much 3DS exclusive stuff is coming. I mean, maybe this stuff will make it over to the Switch eventually, but first up was WarioWare Gold. That's coming with like 300 mini games, micro games, I guess is more appropriate term, and that's going to come out August 3rd. I don't know. I've never really gotten into the WarioWare games.
I like WarioWare. It's a fun little party game.
See, I've always liked those. I didn't get the last one though, but I have all the Game Boy Advance ones, the 3DS, and my favorite is, the original DS, and then my favorite was WarioWare DIY, which you could make games about penises, and I can't. I used to have some videos of the games I got, but they all got taken down off of YouTube because of
that's a good sign.
Content flags. Yeah. So the cool thing about that one was because they actually reused the like the art format from and different assets from Mario Paint, and they never re-released Mario Paint beyond the SNES, and that was one of my favorites on that. So that was one thing I really liked about it. But anyway, I am looking forward to this. I'm going to reuse a joke I made on Twitter, though. I'm kind of wondering if 9Volt's going to just bitch and moan and whine about gamers in this one. Because, there's that one dick on Twitter that
that
doesn't narrow it down, Joe.
That one. I hate that guy.
That one.
He's that prick. One. Yeah. But it was real weird though. Like he used to use the 9Volt, the image, and then he turned it, changed it into a Koopa Troopa. So.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he's a prick. Yeah, but anyway, but that describes 90,000 people, so you don't have to censor that. No, sorry. Okay. Anyway, that's
don't worry. I'm not. Unless you tell me to cut it, it's staying in. Don't worry.
No, my favorite of the WarioWare games was probably Twisted. Or was it Twisted? Yeah. It was the one with the motion sensor, which is real weird because I thought it's like, okay, this is going to be really gimmicky, but that one was probably the most fun. They used that in really interesting ways. So, and it had a really cool force feedback on it too. So it felt real good. Like whenever you'd twist the thing, you'd hear feel kind of a clicking in the rumble pack that they had in the cart. So it was really neat.
Was it Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, that was on Game Boy Advance. Okay. The first one was, Boy Advance, and that was the second one. And I'm forgetting the third one's last name. That had some interesting things because they actually made use of some of the games, like for the 9-volt segment, where they had the retro games. They actually made some references to the Famicom's microphone, because you had the microphone on the.
That's right.
Yes, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, and
not quite as out there as the sewing machine attachment thing for it, but
exactly.
Okay, so WarioWare Gold. I might check this one out. Like I said, I don't know if I've ever played a WarioWare game. Maybe when like the Wii first came out or the Wii one first came out, I did with some friends from GameStop I was working with at the time, but it's not really coming to my mind, so maybe not. I don't remember. Yeah, but anyway, let's move on. Okay. Mother fans can continue to be pissed off because Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers. Man, that's a title. This is the third game in this series, and I mean, it seems okay. It seems like an okay series. But I mean, the fact that we still don't have Mother 3, I'm like, guys, come on, really? Just like, I'm not one of those like raging, angry Earthbound fans that is just like, this is the best game ever. But I'm like, I mean, really, you're coming out with this? I mean, you could have put the same energy into localizing Mother 3 and then put it on the eShop or the Virtual Console or whatever. It's like, come on, guys, really, this really is getting a third game. Okay, that's fine. So,
yeah, I have very little knowledge of the series. I know it exists. It's about, and I was like, oh, there's a new game in that series.
Yeah, it's a Cowboy Armadillo. That's a tower defense game and then this one has some racing in it, like kart racing. So, man, I don't know who the audience is for on this, but not me. I'm gonna have to say this one is not for me. So, let's see. The demo comes out May 10th, and then full release is the 24th of May. So that's I think this one's gonna be not a hard pass, but a pass for me. So. Next one. Then they showed Bowser's Inside Story and Bowser Jr.'s Story, which is a remake of the 2000. Man, I want to say like
13. 10.
Is it 10?
Yeah, it's pretty. 11. 13 seems too recent. Maybe it was 13.
I don't know. I mean, it was a very, very late life DS game. I mean, I think it was like in the death throes of the DS. So, but
09.
09?
God,
yeah.
I was way off. Jesus.
Yeah, I saw this announcement and I was like, "Oh, cool! It's coming to Switch," because I forgot we were in the 3DS section, and I was like,
shit! It's coming to 3DS."
Because I like the Mario and Luigi games. I liked Superstar Saga quite a bit, and but I never played this one, and this is the one everyone likes the most. So I was like, "Oh, cool! I'll finally get to play this." First off, I won't because I don't have a 3DS and I don't plan on getting one. Second off, it's coming in 2019.
I thought you had a 3DS.
What? Wow.
Did you get rid of it?
I do. I guess I do. I think it's another state, though.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you've mentioned having a 3DS before. You just haven't turned it on in a long while.
A very, very long time. It's an original 3DS. That's right. I do have one.
Okay. But yeah, getting back to what Joe reacted to, 2019 is when this is coming out.
Yeah, it's TBA 2019 for the remake. Why would you announce a remake like that? Or a remaster or whatever this is, that much sooner. That's like.
We're talking like a year at least, probably.
Yeah, it's a 3DS game, which is even like the crazier part. It's
like I said, they're really stomping down on this. We're supporting the 3DS. I mean, it definitely wasn't. I mean, what is it? When the DS originally came out, that was supposed to be its third pillar, and then the poor Game Boy brand got crushed under the weight of the other two pillars. So,
it's an interesting decision, but Nintendo is full of those. So.
Yeah. Nintendo just does Nintendo. I mean, it just for every cool decision they make, you're like, what the hell? Joe, I think you mentioned this before. Like they just do these weird experiments, and it's just like that acid. Analogy you came up with last time is like, well, here, go ahead and put the acid on your face anyway. No, it's gonna hurt. No, try it. You'll like it. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? Okay, so Detective Pikachu is coming out.
Wait. Go ahead. I get to say no.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say about the Mario and Luigi. It's like I never played it. I'm kind of in John's position where I've heard good things about it, but then I saw. Oh, there's Bowser Jr. Okay, never mind. So,
Bowser Jr.
Hard pass.
I was like, that guy sucks. Why do they keep? Yeah.
It's like they're really. I mean,
They're really pushing him for some reason that I
Yeah.
cannot figure out.
Yeah, he's a big part of the worst Mario game. Yeah, he's just like a shitty character.
he's kind of like. I mean, they keep pushing him like Marvel keeps pushing Captain Marvel. It's like nobody likes her.
Actually, I can say that I have a friend in my group my multiplayer group that loves Captain Marvel. So I cannot say that I don't know anyone.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. It's
Yeah.
it's just like it's
Yeah,
like oh,
yeah.
the
So
absolute worst. But it's crazy. No, but yeah, it's just like why do they keep pushing this little guy? He's not funny. He's not cute. He's not interesting. He's just annoying. And
I mean,
it's like
his big gimmick is his what is it? His bib that has the teeth on it that he puts over his face occasionally. I'm like, oh, that was cute for 3 seconds. All right, I get it.
Well, I just kind of resented him. Well, that was the thing because again, I've never really liked Sunshine, and the other thing I didn't like was
bad game.
You're in good company, Joe.
Yeah, it's not a good game.
See, I always watch it because there's all these like apologists that I keep finding, and it's like, okay, I better watch what I say because I know there's But no, it's just I won't go into that. But they kind of sidelined the Koopa kids after that, and then now they're not even his real kids. Yeah, it's like okay, well, but I mean they came back temporarily, but now it's like, well, I guess if we make Bowser Jr., then we don't have to make all the models for those other guys, so.
Yeah, he sucks. That's all. I mean, they almost got the Koopa kids back, and they made them rabbits in Odyssey. So they're getting there. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Next thing.
Okay. Detective Pikachu. We talked about this off the air. I don't want to say excited for it because I'm not, but I'm getting it.
It seems going
cool.
out of your mind.
It seems
out
fun.
this month, right? Like
the 23rd actually. So we're talking like 2 weeks here. So
I guess I'll play that. Yeah.
Danny DeVito needs to be.
What kind of game is it?
Like basically like a Phoenix Wright type game, isn't it?
I don't know. Like that trailer didn't really tell me anything about the game other than there's cutscenes in it, I guess. But
well, no, I was asking Joe because I think
I keep seeing a lot about it, but then it's like I have no idea. So it looks like
from what I've seen, it does look sort of like a Phoenix Wright type investigation sort of thing.
Okay,
so.
I've seen no gameplay. I don't think
adventure game. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I'll see pictures, and I didn't know when it was coming out or whatever. I just remember seeing memes about the Danny DeVito, which I approve of, and it says it's an adventure game in which players control Tim Goodman as he works together with Detective Pikachu to solve various mysteries. This is accomplished by walking around scenes, finding potential clues, and speaking with people and Pokemon to uncover new information. So, yeah, it sounds a lot like Phoenix Wright or anyway.
Or like Ace Attorney Investigations, the ones with Miles Edgeworth.
That sounds a little more like that, yeah. So...
we only got one of those, and that thing sold like gangbusters. So that may have yeah, man.
Spiritual successor to Ghost Trick. But all right,
yeah. And then we get a gigantic Detective Pikachu amiibo, which is like nearly 2/3 the size of or 2/3 larger than the regular like Pikachu amiibo. So I'm gonna get that just because it looks fucking ridiculous. So I just kind of want that on my shelf. I think it'll look kind of cool. So actually, I think I'm gonna make a amiibo shelf for above my computer here because I think my wife's getting tired of them being in like this Tupperware bin in the living room next to the TV because I'm not using them anymore. So I was like, well, maybe I can just display them then. I'm sure she's gonna be thrilled about that prospect even more.
She'll love it.
Yeah, she's been trying to talk me out of getting rid of that Twilight Princess standee that I've had for I don't know 12 going on 12 years now. So yeah, good luck. Yeah. Anyway, and the last bit of like 3DS exclusive news: Luigi's Mansion is getting remade for the 3DS to the answering the request of nobody, I guess.
It's. I mean, it's a decent game. I have nothing against Luigi Mansion. It's better than Sunshine. So it's it's the one time Luigi had a better game than Mario.
Anyone clamoring for it? So I don't. If you guys didn't watch the direct, there was a There was a little weird nod that I'm not really sure if it had to be intentional, but they said like the original mansion where Mario went missing, like.
Oh, was it Mario's missing?
Yeah, I was like, guys.
No, I didn't even catch it. So
like,
yeah,
guys, was that intentional? I mean, that had to be intentional. I mean,
yeah, but
so are we hinting at Mario is missing next? Is that going to be remade for the 3DS, or at the way we're going, we're just going to put it on the DS or DSi software?
I bet it was just a joke. Oh, I do remember the gag now. He's in the mirror and everything, or the picture frame.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I was gonna say joke might be a stretch there. So
yeah, but there is a new boss rush mode. So if you guys are pumped for the boss rush and Luigi Mansion, it's coming. So
I was a little miffed. Like when the GameCube came out, my grandma bought my grandma has this like history of buying like all of our Nintendo systems for us. Even as I got into adulthood, like she bought my Wii U. The Switch is probably the first, outside of like the multiple iterations of 3DSs I've bought, but it's the first one I bought. It just sort of become this tradition that I don't want to break, but I just found a Switch sitting there one day and I was like, I don't want to go bother my grandma to just kind of continue to do this tradition. So I was like, in case they sold it. So, but anyway, when I got my GameCube and my brother got his GameCube, I got Luigi's Mansion and he got a Rogue Squadron, and I was a little miffed at that. I was like, that's what I wanted. I didn't. Why did I get this? So,
I think Luigi Mansion is a pretty good game.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
it's
Rogue Squadron at the time, but yeah, I mean, launch. I'm looking. I'm like Luigi's Mansion, Rogue Squadron. I'm like, I don't want this.
I have a lot of memories of playing Luigi's Mansion in McDonald's, also, like, along with Pikmin. I don't remember I don't know if they had it around you guys, but like they had the GameCubes inside McDonald's.
Yeah.
So, so I played a lot of Luigi's Mansion demos and Pikmin demos at McDonald's. So, memories.
Okay. All right. So moving on to Switch stuff. Okay, I'm a Kirby fan. So. I don't know. We'll just get on with this. Kirby Star Allies, they showed off a little bit. Some of the friends you can recruit, or some of the additional friends you can recruit. You're going to be able to use King DDD or DDD, 3Ds, whatever.
DDD.
Meta Knights and Bandana Waddle Dee. I don't
That's
understand the Waddle
name.
Dees.
I love Bandana Waddle Dee because that's just a really, really long name for something.
I'm like just trying to cram that onto the screen. Yeah. It's like, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I played the demo for this, and it is slow. I mean, Kirby moves slow in this, and even for a pink puffball who his flying is more of a floating, it feels kind of floaty. I'm not as kind of enthused with this as I am with most Kirby games. I'm not like oh, Kirby's the greatest series. I just enjoy Kirby games, but man, I'm a little not feeling this one just because of the way it feels. It doesn't feel right. It's like I said, Kirby might have eaten a little too much in between his last game and this one, because he's moving a little slow. He might need to hit the track a little bit.
He's getting old. He's like, he's like 30-something years old now, isn't he?
Probably 25.
Let's see. 91.
91.
Yeah, it was 91, 92. So I guess he'd be about. Man, jeez, it's just kind of creepy, realizing how it's like, man, that was a while ago. It's like I'm old.
I wasn't even born yet.
Oh, I feel even older.
Yeah, no shit.
Surprise.
I remember renting the first one from there was a chain called Farmore. It was
oh my god, yeah, I remember Farmore. Holy shit.
Oh, they were awesome. You'd rent you could rent a game. It was kind of like it was. I have similar nostalgia for that I did for Hastings, because you could rent stuff for really cheap for 5 days or something like that. But we'd go there all the weekends. We'd rent a whole bunch of NES games and stuff. But they started getting things like Game Boy games or Game Gear games. It was amazing because then you could play those. But I just remember was hanging out with a friend and we rented that because we're like, yeah, I hear it's real easy, but it's like, well, let's check it out. So I mean it's a fun game. It's just anyway, yeah. But I have not played that demo. I'm guessing he's moving slow because he's got gout by now, but by eating all that that meat.
Wow, that'd be a dark twist.
It just, all that cannibalism, it's just, it starts to build up. He's got all the uric acid in there from all the people he killed. So.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Shit got real here.
I want that to be the game. Like halfway through, it takes a shift, and you realize it's kind of like a braid turn where you realize you've actually been the monster the whole time. Yeah.
You play as like one of the we'll say evil Waddle Dees or whatever, and you just see Kirby and he comes at you, and instead of his usual like friendly hi, it takes this very sinister like hi as he comes to eat you. You're like, oh god!
It's like a Mortal Kombat X-ray as he's eating him, and it shows you everything going on as he's like, yeah, this is the game I want.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Make it happen. Indie devs make it happen.
Yeah. Moving on.
Okay. And post-launch, there's going to be some updates where it's going to bring in some familiar characters or support characters from previous entries. You're going to have Rick Keen, I forget how you say it, and Koo from Kirby's Dream Land 2. You're going to have Koo from Superstar, or was it Koo Marks? Yeah, Koo and Marks.
I thought you said Koo Marx like it was a play on Karl Marx, and I was kind of interested in this.
Who knows? It could be. I mean,
And,
nowadays, that would be pretty popular with the DSA people. I'm sorry.
No,
Nintendo,
fine.
yeah, that's the thing. Nintendo, like, I guess the good, for better or for worse, Nintendo would never try to be like, you know what, let's make this game to appeal to a new audience. We want to expand. Let's go after the angry, disillusioned, socialist 13-year-olds.
Can you imagine how disillusioned you'd have to be with the world at 13 years old? You turn to being disillusioned and socialism. It's like,
yeah,
okay, well, all right.
Just wait for Detective Pikachu, everyone. Just saying.
Because basically that's what Marvel, Marvel Comics is pretty much at that point right now. They're just like, you know what? Let's go after this new audience. And then it's like, but they don't buy comics. And it's like, no, it doesn't matter. We're gonna refocus our entire line.
No, the thing is, no one buys comics, so it's like
nobody buys comics. We just go to 4chan and download them illegally. So.
And one more character they're going to throw in from Kirby's Dream Land 3 is Gooey.
Who could forget Gooey?
Yeah.
Basically the slime from Dragon's Quest.
Yeah, who you could basically just sprout from yourself at any
That's
instance.
Gross.
And let a second player join in, play as Gooey. It was a little weird.
So you play some Kirby shit? That's what you're telling me?
Because that was on Kirby's Dream Land 3, and I think that was a Super FX2 chip, if I'm remembering right. And it never.
Wait, so it's like sentient shit. So that would mean that the things he eats and digests keep their sentience as they become shit. Like this dark Kirby game is really coming together for me right now.
But the thing is, I don't think Kirby shits. I think that's why he's got the gout.
Oh man.
I mean, you've seen that. You've seen that cursed image of Kirby without his shoes on, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I really hate that picture.
Just something where, like, basically it's all the souls. Like, instead of uric acid building up in your feet, it's the souls of all the people that he's absorbed. And it's just
Oh man, you can have you guys seen Annihilation?
No.
No, but
there's a scene in there that I want to reference, but I'm not going to. It's a new movie anyway. I don't want to. It's a really good scene.
Yeah, we're not doing one of our movie spoiler casts here.
Yeah,
so.
It's a very good movie. People should go see Annihilation. But anyway.
Well, in Devilman, there's the turtle Jinmen, and
right. Yes, that works.
So like there's this little like you see, like a Waddle Dee's face like pop up on his back, and it's like kill me, but.
Oh man, what if that? Oh man, that scene's really fucked up. That whole show's fucked up, but that scene's really fucked up.
Well, I heard they changed it in the new one, or the one on Netflix. So it was this in the original. It was this little girl from the neighborhood that got killed and eaten by it, and then I guess, and now it's his family. So that makes it a little bit.
In a bus full of people and kids. There are kids on the bus, so it's. Even if they changed it, that show is something else. I watched the whole thing. It's a hell of a thing. It's got a very Evangelion end to it, also, like the real Evangelion ending, not the one where they just say thank you or whatever at the end.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations.
No, it's end of Evangelion ending.
Congratulations, Shinji.
Yeah.
And that for 20 minutes. It's like, oh, good. I waited 25 episodes for this.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's move on from this cursed Kirby thing because oh god, I want it to happen, and I'm waiting for somebody to make a corpse
That's the
party
name
Kirby.
of the game, Cursed Kirby.
No, how about
We're printing money.
Kirby corpse party?
Uh,
There we go.
Kirby's
Nice and
corpse,
grisly.
Kirby's corpse party. It's got to be Kirby's. It's like yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be possessive. I mean, it is his party
Yeah.
because he's making all the corpses and he's having a party with them. So
And he's got a party hat on the entire time. Too.
yeah. Oh jeez. Okay, moving on here real quick because I don't really care for this game very much. Okami HD is coming to the Switch.
I have never played it, so I like the way it looks. I've always liked the way it looks.
Yeah, I like the art style. It just yeah, it's a Zelda game that drags on way too long and talks way too much. So
I've heard. I might eventually try this though. Get it on Switch. Switch is always like that. It's a system that's like I could probably try something on here. Yeah, because it's very very handy.
The ability to use the touchscreen and like the Joy-Con thing seems kind of cool, but I'm not buying this one. I tried going back to it on the PS3 and it just didn't do it for me. So I'm not at this point. I think it would be like triple dipping because I think I have it on the PS2 still somewhere. So, and that's coming out this summer. Moving on from that, Sushi Striker. Oh God, The Way of Sushido, which sounds like a weeaboo dad joke. I mean,
It's
God.
I agree, but I feel like the humor they were going for in the trailer, they were self-serious enough that it actually made me laugh. Like with the way they're talking about the sushi wars and stuff. Like I feel like they kind of hit a good thing. Anyway, the game is like a fast puzzle game kind of thing, a match 3, I get, or some sort of matching game. Or I'm assuming match 3. It looks not like something I don't want to play, but it looks unique at least. So, but so there's that.
Yeah, and it's coming to Switch and the 3DS on June 8th. So, Joe, do you have any interest in this one? Have you seen this one yet?
Yeah, I mean, I like puzzles. I'm probably not gonna really. I mean, I just got so much crap to play, so I'll probably, I'll wait. If a lot of people seem to like it, I'll probably get it. If I'm feeling depressed, probably get it. Because like I've been trying not to do that for the stress buying.
Gee, Joe, what's that like? Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and go.
What I was gonna say though is, yeah, that's the thing. I promised myself I was gonna try and finish some more games I had, and it's like no, I'm just gonna buy this Dynasty Warriors game, even though it's gonna be on sale in a couple months. Yeah, but no, actually, for Weeaboo, I guess on the topic of Weeaboo stuff, the title, The Way of Sushido, is actually kind of like a double negative because do in, like Bushido, it means the way of. So the way of, the warrior. So that's kind of like the way of the sushi.
I like the title now. Now I like it.
That's pretty good. That's okay.
Yeah, now I'm on board with the title. Okay, now that it's like that much more ridiculous. Okay, now I'm on board with it. Because that's.
And I mean, there's other stuff like this where like, but I guess probably the other thing is like whenever somebody says Mount Fujiyama, that's a double negative too because Fujiyama means Mount Fuji, and so I'm trying to think of some other. There's some other ones, but anyway.
Unless you're talking about one of those people that likes having sexual relations with inanimate objects. Because
so the
mount.
Thinking of more Kirby ideas. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, that sounds like it'd be in a new Kirby game. It's Kirby has sex with inanimate objects and he takes on their souls.
He does kiss his friends, and I mean when he goes to give them food, it to get the back. Yeah.
We could get this on Steam as a visual novel. I guarantee it. So.
Man, if I had any ability or desire to actually make a game, that would do the trick. This would be my dream thing to do. Is just make this like horrifying Kirby game. And then like 20 years later, my daughter.
Yeah, how long you get like a takedown notice or something from Nintendo or whatever on Steam, but it's just like
20 years later.
Well, just.
Put
a black bar on its side. Yeah, like basically you could totally tell it's Kirby, but you put a mosaic over his eyes or something like that, and then just not use his name.
Give him tattoos. Totally not Kirby. Totally not Kirby.
He's got a tattoo.
It's his religion.
Yeah, that will be the legacy my daughter finds of me in like 20 years on a corpse. Is like, not the site, not the podcast. She'll just find this weird Kirby game where he has sex with inanimate objects and just just like murders the souls of everything that are screaming out for help as Kirby destroys them. You're just like, oh god, my dad was weird, wasn't he? Anyway, let's move on.
That's my dad.
Octopath Traveler is getting a date, and man, that is coming up quicker than I think anyone was expecting. It's coming out July 13th.
Yeah, it was pretty soon. That game looks cool.
Oh yeah,
it's like I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but that visually that game looks really cool.
Yeah, that is it's been said to death, I'm sure, but like I want Final Fantasy VI remake looking like this, basically.
That'd be a hell of a thing. I would like it's just like such. Like the water in that game looks really good. That's what oh man, it's. I will definitely play it just to look at it. So.
Yeah, it looks really cool. As far as the like the job system goes, I'm kind of digging the mix in the job system thing and how it like each character has its own like unique way of like interacting with the world. You can unlock like cheaper like things at the inn. You can also buy special equipment from certain characters or certain like NPCs or whatever. It just seems kind of cool. Like I'm kind of digging that. Like it adds a layer to it outside of just like, okay, I can go through this story 8 different times with 8 different characters and just use the same repetitive battle system. So I think it'll add a little something to it. So keep it a little interesting. Kind of like what is it? Dragon Quest IV. That's kind of what it reminds me of there.
Okay. Hope the writing's good. That's what I hope for.
I hope the voice acting's better than it's let on. So.
Yeah.
Because the demo didn't impress me very much.
I did not play the demo. I heard very mixed things. I heard some people really liked it, and like you were a little more lukewarm on it. So
yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick this up. The special edition looks really cool.
Yeah, the pop-up book.
Yeah, it looks really cool, but I'm not paying $100 for that. So
no. I mean, it looks cool, but I have no intention of ever getting it. It just looks. It's for a collector's edition. It looks cool.
Yeah.
So.
Joe, did you have any interest in this? Have you played it?
To be honest with you, I really haven't been playing a lot of JRPGs just because of the time thing. And I haven't even really paid attention to it, so
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, it seems kind of cool. It's just just like graphically, it's just very pretty. But
I used to really be into JRPGs, by the way. Now I just really don't
have the time.
Yeah, pretty much. And so I just
that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to a guy like Secret of Mana and Final Fantasy VI are like in my top 5 probably. So I'm right there with you. I had Chrono Trigger. I mean, God, the top.
Same here. I mean, those were really like. I mean, that was what kind of set me on the path to weeabooism. That and Castle Cagliostro and a couple of animes, but like those were like huge to me because they didn't really have them a lot. And I guess there's just so damn many of them that that and it takes so much time to play through them. So anyway.
Yeah, real quick sidebar here. Off the air, John and I, before you got on the call, John and I were kind of joking about the amount of games on Steam, and we decided to look up how many games had the tag RPG Maker on Steam. And this is including some of like the expansion packs and stuff for it, but there was 24 pages worth of shit.
Oh, jeez.
I was just like,
probably because a lot of them are walking sims and couch trips in video game form, and the kind that certain people would. Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with that. It's just like, man, I mean, unless you're doing something like really kind of out there. That's actually, I'm trying to learn how to do stuff in RPG Maker, and it's just, I don't have the time. It's not that difficult, but, it is kind of time consuming. And, I was trying to do that for like interstitials or things for on the videos when I was still with a certain podcast. And I think I managed to do one, and that was it. And then things went to hell. But I did kind of think that would be kind of fun to make a game like that in RPG Maker. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are doing that just because, it's kind of easy access and people can do it pretty easily and cheaply, and, just kind of recolor other people's sprites and stuff to do their own games, really. There was the other one. What was it? There's Fighter Maker. They never released Desimon or, the Shooter Maker over here. They did on PSN for, they had those like, when they released those 5 like Japanese PSN classics or whatever, like that was one of the ones that they released. But yeah, I was kind of surprised to find out that it was really it started more on the PC, I guess. And then there's been a pretty big following. Like that's where Corpse Party got started. They did that in RPG Maker, I believe.
Yeah. That was the one thing I was saying. Like I couldn't hate RPG Maker too much just because of that. Like it gave the world Corpse Party, and I was like, okay, I'm cool with this. So clearly it just depends on the abilities of the people making it. It's kind of like anything else. It's just a tool, but it's just like, man, there's a lot of average ass RPGs on there. So it's just like, for every Corpse Party, there's 690 other bad, just wannabe JRPGs. But we should probably get back on track here because we still have about half of this thing to go. So, John, this is probably more up your alley than mine. Joe, I don't know how you feel about this one. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes.
I'll probably play it because I really like the first 2, but it seems kind of like just a placeholder. I don't know. It's just kind of, I don't know. I'm not like all that excited. It just kind of looks like, I don't know if this is the intention or whatever, but it just kind of looks like one of those games where, okay, in Mario terms, it's like, you have Mario Sunshine or like Mario, cleans up trash in his neighborhood, like it's just some kind of like side thing where it's like, okay, it's a different format from the other games. It's not really a real game in the series kind of feeling. That's kind of how it looks to me. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I honestly, like, I never really tried them. They just didn't kind of appeal to me. So I was just like, always like, I don't know, maybe I'll probably just.
They're not great, but there's good stuff in them. I enjoyed them. I thought they were kind of fun, but they were. Yeah, but this, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It could turn out okay.
Yeah, like I said, me personally, I'm like, whatever. I'll take a pass on that. And there's no hard release date, but it's 2018, so there's a good chance I guess it'll come. As long as I guess they have the let's say up and down motion to charge up your beam sword. I guess we're still in good shape.
It kind of reminded me of Fury, which came out. Was that last year or the year before?
Yeah, it was like a year and a half ago, I think now.
Yeah.
It was like a PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, I liked Fury. It was a little too hard for its own good, but so that kind of gave me that vibe. We'll see. We'll see. I like the first 2. They're Suda games through and through. So you're gonna take the good with the bad, and it does not seem like a No More Heroes 3. It just seems like it's for like they're a Switch game they wanted to throw out there.
It almost seems more like a mini game collection sort of thing.
Yeah, it does. It's like.
Yeah, but who knows? I'm gonna play it because I like the first 2, so we'll see. I also I just don't like brawlers that much in general, and I can't tell if it's a brawler or a twin stick shooter, which I also don't like that. I am lukewarm on those also, so yeah, I don't know.
So some sort of amalgamation of the two might be really lukewarm.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe the suit of flair will help me get through it, but who knows?
So speaking of flair, Dark Souls. They showed a little bit of the Dark Souls remastered thing.
Really nailed that.
Yeah,
segue.
Hey, you can. You are always welcome to do this if you want to. Okay, and personally, I've just come to the realization that Dark Souls games are not for me. I'm kind of done with them. I am going to buy that amiibo though.
I think the last podcast I was on, the main one, I talked about how much I love Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
It is a top 10 game for me, through and through. I've liked each sequel and Bloodborne included in Demon Souls, which came out first, but I've liked them never quite as much as the first one. I've liked them to varying degrees. So I am looking forward to having it on Switch. I think I'm gonna get the Switch version. It's also coming to PS4 and Xbox Ones, and so it'll probably look better on there. And I think it's gonna have the locked 60 frame rate, which is a big deal for any Dark Souls game, because that's never been a thing in those games. So, and it won't be like that on the Switch version. So I'm kind of torn, but we'll see.
Performance or portability, basically.
Yeah, and I've beaten that game so many times, so I still can't decide which one I prefer. It's cool. Also, I guess in other news, you can go along with this, Bloodborne is free on PS Plus this month. You go on with Ratchet and Clank. So if you've never played those kind of games, I know a lot of people who couldn't get into them before got into Bloodborne quite a bit. So Bloodborne might be my least, probably my second least favorite one. After Demon Souls is my least favorite, and then probably Bloodborne would be my next least favorite. But that's free, so if you want to play that, go for it. Joe, do you like Dark Souls at all?
I could play through, but I liked Demon Souls better than Dark Souls, and then I actually never got around to playing 2 or 3, and I like Bloodborne, so maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll give it a try again. But I really need to. I guess I've heard people saying bad things about 2 though. Like I never played.
2 has a different director, so it's also probably the easiest one, I guess, to say, because it has the ability to eventually enemies stop spawning.
Yeah.
And it's the path through the game isn't as it's a little more straightforward. It's kind of like it's more hub based than the first one is. The first one's more a traditional open world game, and but two, you generally come back to the same. Majula is the name of the town or the small area you come back to every after you finish with whatever you're doing every time, and it kind of connects to everything. It doesn't have that same fully interconnected like Metroid world that I like about Dark Souls 1. It's like a big part of why I like the first one. It loses that in the second one. But 2 is still a good game. Out of the Dark Souls games, I think I like 3 more than 2, but it's kind of close. They're pretty comparable in terms of.
I think my main problem is I've never known how to effectively build somebody in an RPG. So like whenever it's not like so the things like where you have to allocate points like that, or in a lot of WRPGs, I've always had a hard time with that. So I don't think that I was doing that as effectively. I guess maybe I need to read up on it, but
that helped me a lot in the first game. And once you kind of get the hang of it, the other ones become much easier because you just kind of figure out the game basically. And that also takes away from why I think the first one is my favorite, because it's the first one, so it's like diminishing returns at a point, and kind of been there, done that with the. I still remember the first time I beat the first Dark Souls. The first time I played through it, I got stopped halfway through by a notoriously hard boss fight, Ornstein and Smo, which is a 2-on-1 boss fight. And I had kind of been cheesing my way through the game, so my character wasn't as good as it could have been. Also, I didn't quite understand all the systems in the game yet, so I basically had to start a game all over. And so
at that point, I got so pissed off, I just went and I slaughtered all the NPCs. And
what you can do, and that's
and I was just like, and then I beat the game after that, but it was like, that last boss. I mean, I'm pretty good at the the parrying and stuff like that, but that was a really, you had to be perfect on the timing. And it was fine. It was kind of interesting to have such a challenge, but man, that like walk of shame before that, it's like making you run back to the boss every time, it really really gets to you. Yeah.
And the trick is most of the time just kind of get on their left ass cheek and just hit that a lot. So it's kind of like it's their weak spot. But because they have not quite mastered the 360-degree turn, so you know. So yeah, a lot of Dark Souls is standing behind a big enemy and hitting it in the ass. So that's what you're looking for, everyone.
And a lot of reading.
Yeah. You don't have to do that much reading if you don't.
No, I mean trying to figure out how to play the game, basically, or like how to build somebody.
You just block and hit things, and you level up. Dark Souls.
I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with you. As a guy who's a big systems guy, I'm gonna go ahead and disagree on that one. So, anyway, let's move on here because we got a lot more to talk about. Well, not to be mean, John. I think we've heard the Dark Souls story enough times at this point. I think everyone gets it. It's like it's a good game, not for everybody, and they're hard. And if you don't have the patience for that sort of thing, like I don't, moving on. Anyway, Mario Tennis. Looks interesting. My daughter seems to be into it. I gotta say, great. Bowser Jr.'s in this one. Swell. We just talked about how wonderful Bowser Jr. is. But I think the real fucking superstar of this thing is Chain Chomp. Chain Chomp is in this Mario Tennis game. I don't know how it's holding a racket, but god damn it, I'm using Chain Chomp. I don't care.
I'm pretty into it.
Yeah. This Chain Chomp holding a fucking tennis racket. I'm digging that one. I'm watching all these like super moves that they're using and everything. I'm like, I just want to see the Chain Chomp. Just show me the fucking Chain Chomp hitting the ball, and I'm good. You'll have sold me on this game. No, you're not going to show me it. Okay, that's fine. No. Let's watch Mario jump for the 4 billionth time. Okay, cool.
I hope this game is better than the last Mario Tennis was.
It seems to be a little bit more robust than the last one. So, this zone shot thing seems kind of cool, but man, I am not into this racket breaking thing.
I mean, it kind of solves like the rally problem in Mario Tennis games, where you can just kind of get, if you use a super and then someone else counters your super with theirs, it kind of just puts you back at square one, and you're kind of just rallying again. So I could see the thought process behind it, at least.
I guess. I don't know. I think having that meter may have, I don't know, been enough of a thing against that, but whatever. Like I said, me personally, because it's just as soon as your racket breaks, it's instant like lose. It's like, oh great, that's swell, cool, that's fun. So you could be ahead, I guess, and have somebody break your racket, and you're like, oh well, fuck me, great. So no, actually, it doesn't really solve the problem. It brings it right back to Mario Party, where all of a sudden you being ahead by 400 stars or coins or whatever the hell it is means nothing because your racket was broken. So everybody's a winner in Mario. Anyway, online tournaments, you're gonna be able to unlock characters. There was a Koopa Troopa one in there, so I'm kind of digging that just for the Koopa Troopa. He was my character in the original Mario Kart, so I've always sort of had an affinity for that. And then unlock outfits, and don't care so much. The motion controls look like they were a little bit more akin to like what everyone thought the Wii was gonna do for tennis games, like actually kind of mimicking your movements, not quite as finicky, we'll say, as the Skyward Sword 1-to-1 movements, but maybe a little bit more forgiving than those. So I'm good with that. Moving on from Mario Tennis Aces, Undertale's coming to the Switch eventually, which was cute, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I'll actually, I think I'll finally play that when it comes to Switch. I still haven't played that game, but I feel like I also am not going to enjoy it as much now. I don't know if I would have in the first place, but it's one of those games that's been everyone talks about it constantly, or when it came out.
I'm gonna say what probably is gonna make me not enjoy it very much is I heard an interview with the guy who made the game, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say not a particular fan of the guy. I guess just his way of thinking. I suppose I don't know. Just sometimes it is hard to separate the the art from the artist, and that might be one of those. I mean, anyway, I'll just move on. Not really that important. One thing I'm excited about, Captain Toad. We were talking about this on the last episode. Captain Toad is coming to the Switch. So, god damn it, man. I'm so happy that that's coming. As soon as it got to that thing and then I heard the little music, I was like, all right. It's like they listened to my last podcast and were like, all right, let's do this. So, coming right from my heart there. And they're going to add some Super Mario Odyssey levels. And weirdly enough, it's coming to the 3DS too. What? I don't fucking get it. I really don't get it.
You gotta support your systems. It's a pillar.
Yeah, I guess.
Every pillar needs support.
Yep. But wait, aren't pillar support?
That's that's kind of like the chicken or the egg thing there, Jason. I don't know if we can really get into that right now.
Oh, jeez. Man, philosophical
Yeah.
discussion on a video games podcast discussing that
Yeah.
Nintendo Direct. Oh,
Yeah.
boy. We have become the worst thing on the internet. Okay, let's move on. So, oh, God. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy coming July 10th. Oh, real quick, the Captain Toad's coming July 13th. So, yeah, anyway. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy coming July 10th. So if you haven't had enough average platforming games, there's another one for you. There's 3 of them technically.
I beat the first one last year. It was a nice little bit of nostalgia. That game is annoyingly hard in places.
We made it through, we played through the first 2. I'm probably 2 levels from the last, but I forget. I got stuck on some. I forget what. One of the mini game type things on 3, and it's like, yeah, okay.
Had enough Crash.
Yeah, I meant to get around to 2 and 3 and never have, but
2's pretty good. I would say 2 is probably the best. The Insane Trilogy
I do
fix a lot.
like 2 the most. I just haven't played it on the Insane Trilogy.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying though, like they've definitely improved things. I think, or I don't know. Like I know a lot of people were kind of mad because they made some changes, like the way that the jumps work is kind of touchy
a little bit, I guess, but
yeah. But the third game, what I didn't like about it was one of those games where they tried to increase the variety and the mini game or different just very good. So some of them were okay, but it's like for the most part, it's like I would rather just play some more platforming and not a really bad jet ski thing.
Yeah. The first one is unforgiving in points. Like it is, there are some levels in there that are just rough, especially, and those side-scrolling levels are just made even worse by the fact that you can move in a 3D space in a 2D level, which just makes like timing jumps a pain in the fucking ass.
And sometimes they expect you to actually be able to do weird curved jumps into and out of space, and it's like I hate that. Oh man, did you try that? There was a DLC level for what was it? Stormy Descent. Stormy Descent.
I did try it. Yeah, I did. I do remember because they released it. It was like an unreleased level.
Yeah. And apparently it was on the disc for the original. You had to use Game Shark to be able to get to it, but it was just sort of like, okay, I don't have the patience for this.
Yeah, you can tell why it's not in the game. it's just hard, just annoyingly hard. All right. What's up next, Jason?
Little Nightmares Complete Edition coming May 18th. And something else that probably should be put into our Cursed Kirby game here, the Paku Mask. Man.
Oh yeah.
That thing's creepy in of itself, man.
I was like, yeah. At first, when they showed it, because they hadn't mentioned it yet, I'm like, is that what his face was like in that game? I don't remember because I haven't played it. But I don't remember. I thought he had like a little fishing coat on, or the trench coat thing. I was like, oh, it's a weird Pac-Man thing.
Yeah, it's a little creepy. Yeah, I was like, oh man, that's that's unsettling enough.
Yeah, I want to play this game. I know Gore loved it, so I've been meaning to play it. It seems kind of like something I dig.
Yeah, putting it on Switch seems to be the right move for me to play it. So, because I don't know, it's weird how many horror games seem to be coming to the Switch. Like I'm waiting for Corpse Party to hit now. So,
it'd be a good place for it.
It seems like an inevitability there. So, anyway, South Park: The Fractured Butthole. Hold on, I didn't separate that enough. Fractured Butthole. It's coming.
It doesn't work no matter how much of a game
I never got that until you just said that. So wow.
That's going to be coming the April 24th there, and all DLC is going to be available for it. You don't have to buy it like a separate $20 seasons pass or something like that, but that might be a good way to play this one. It seems like something along those lines there. So
yeah, it seems decent. I don't watch South Park I haven't watched it in a long time. I used to be a pretty big fan, but I've kind of outgrown it in a way. But it looks like a well-made game. But
yeah, I want the first one on there too. If they can put both of those on there, that'd be ideal for me. But I don't know. We'll see. There's been no talk about the first one getting on there, so who knows? Seems like everything's coming to Switch though. So
yeah, I was gonna say if that's the case, I'd just get it on PS4 or 360, or I'm sorry, the Xbox One at that rate.
Yeah.
Although it would be good to be able to take it on the go. That's the big thing with the the Switch. It is nice to be able to go take it, So
yeah, that is the big thing for the Switch for me. Is like it's a great RPG system. For the portability thing for the like platformers and stuff, I got a hard time because there's no D-pad. So
I wanted Persona 5 on the Switch really bad, but it's all right. It's never gonna happen. Hey, maybe Persona 6, everyone. Maybe that'll happen.
Hey, who knows? Maybe Nintendo will throw enough money at them. I mean, they're just at this point printing money with the Switch.
That's all right. Persona 6 come out in like 2025 anyway. So
So Nintendo.
Yeah.
Well, Nintendo will be doing something stupid again by then. I mean, they'll have come off the high of doing something intelligent with the Switch, and we'll be right back to what the fuck are you doing, Nintendo?
Yeah, it's now a fishing rod. But
you mean like the Labo thing? Oh, boy.
Huh.
Okay. Yeah,
Labo.
Let's move on from cardboard.
Yeah.
Oh boy. No, maybe we should move on to cardboard because the next game on the list was Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition.
I thought this came out already. Did this not come out already?
It's come out on 2 different systems. So
I thought this was already on Switch when they announced. I literally thought this Switch edition had already come out.
It's funny. I think on the last episode, Frankie had mentioned that too. That he thought it was already out.
Yeah, I thought it was.
But yeah, that's coming out May 18th, so we still got like another 2.5 months before that's out. So the thing that bums me out is like the thing I want to play this for is just like the fact that there's like some sort of like Link's Awakening content in there. I mean, just like I don't know it, but I am not gonna. Maybe I'll pick it up when it gets cheap, but I am not gonna fork over money for this thing again. I paid for it once on the Wii U, and I'm not doing that again. So like I said, took all the like the clever puzzle elements out of Zelda and the and kind of the tactical one-on-one or maybe one-on-two combat of Zelda that's not like overly complicated, but it makes it feel like Link's more of a badass because he's on sort of an even playing field and the stakes are a little bit higher to putting it on the the scale of the Musou games. I'm like okay. So anyway, let's move on there. Nintendo is not giving up on ARMS, man. They're still going with this thing. They're having this online tournament from March 8th, which is, as of this recording right now, through the 18th, and then like a final on the 31st. And if you haven't played it and want to play it, they're having another online test punch, global test punch, whatever. Basically a demo on the 31st coming out too. So if you're watching the finals, I guess, or whatever that is, and it seems like your thing, there'll be 3 days that you can try that out as of the 31st of March. So
am I the only one that's played that game here? I played the first test punch.
I haven't touched it.
Yeah.
And Joe, you just kind of recently got your Switch, right?
Yeah.
I got it last year, but then I just never got around to using it. So I started using it this year.
Oh, okay.
I kind of wanted to play. I just haven't really gotten to.
It's totally okay.
Yeah, I that's what I've been playing. That was beforehand. I was playing Xenoblade 2, and I had to take a break from that because it was pissing me off.
I followed your journey on Twitter through that game. I was like, it was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's things I really like about it, and I want to like about it, and I'm wondering if maybe I'm looking at the original game with rose tinted glasses, but I remember liking that a lot more than this, and not having issues with things in that game as much as this. I just really hate the gotcha stuff. I hate the random. Mm-hmm. It's a waste of time. And then people are like, oh well, get good or whatever. You need to do all this stuff with and it's just basically to get the the alternate blades or characters that you can use. You have to just put in a ridiculous amount of time, or you have to just luck out. And personally, I just don't have the patience for it. So I just need to finish it up and then just move on.
Yeah. Not worried about getting everybody or everything you want.
There's people that are doing that. And I'm like, how the hell are you doing that? How the hell do you have the sanity, to talk after doing that? Because it's just ridiculous. And I know it's optional, so technically it isn't, but it really does feel kind of disrespectful of the player's time.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about it. It's just there's a lot.
I hate that.
Well, on top of that, they fixed that a little bit. And the thing is, I guess I feel bad saying that because that's exactly what Polygon said in their article. And it's like,
You don't ever want to agree with them.
It's like I don't ever want to agree with them. I want to.
You can disagree on some stuff, but
Right.
We talk about games. It's like some things are undeniable.
No,
So, yeah.
no. The thing about it though is like they've made some changes to it with the map, and I think that just kind of proves that they found out, or they even admit that they did a really shitty job. Like the way that the auto map or the map works and this compass thing, it's just really poor. The way that it's it's really easy to get lost. And
yeah, because it'll put down like an objective, and there'll be a mountain in between your objective, but it'll just give you the like basically you have to go in this direction, but it won't tell you like, hey, there's something in your way that you're gonna have to go around. So it doesn't give you like waypoints. It just gives you here it is.
And sometimes you have to find, sometimes it's really obscure where to find. So you do waste a lot of time just kind of trying to find your way around things. And I found that basically I'll be like, you know what, fuck this. And then I'll go watch a video on YouTube and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that was really obvious. And then I'll go find that path and, go do that and then move on. I can't see how anybody could play this and enjoy it without using an FAQ, because there's a lot of stuff that you will miss, or it is not possible to find unless you lucked out, or you've got some kind of magical psychic powers that you're able to just kind of pick up on stuff that is completely not obvious. But I mean, there's good things too. I mean, it can be fun. The battle system's actually kind of fun, and trying to figure out how to cheese enemies and stuff can be fun. But at the same time, it's just I want to get it over with at this point. So
yeah, and I only played it like a couple of hours, and I was running into some of those problems. And it seems like all the quality of life like improvements they've made with the patches, especially like the most recent one that came out. I forget what the hell they added in there. It made it sound like it was a lot easier to work with, but like it's John and I talked about this off the air. It sounds like a lot like Kingdom Come Deliverance. Like this is going to be a game that I think like a year down the road after its release is when you maybe should play it, because it's going to be, we'll say, fixed. Maybe the way it should have been out the door.
Final Fantasy 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Final Fantasy 15 is not going to be done until like 2020 at this rate. So
yeah, I love that game, but they sure did make some choices.
Well, I mean, they're still support. I mean, they're saying like they're gonna have DLC. They have DLC planned for like 2019. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they extended their plans for it. It's kind of crazy. They just released the Royal Edition, so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is it's kind of in a weird, ironic way that this originally was part of the the Fabula Novala Crystallis thing.
Nailed it.
And this has extended far beyond the scope of that. So it's like,
it's nuts how much they've put into 15. They just released the mobile version of the full game. Like that's yeah.
I'm waiting for that version to be on the Switch. If they actually put like the original version on the Switch, I think I'll end up double dipping on that and actually finishing it this go around. So
I would probably buy it again. I mean, I put 80 hours into the first one, into the original version.
Oh, so you got past chapter 4, huh?
I beat the game, asshole.
Yes, no, I know. No, I'm just saying you can get lost in chapter 3, because that's exactly where I kind of crapped out, and I think I was at like 30 hours, and I was like, what am I doing?
Eventually, it puts you on a linear path, and you just kind of get through the story, and that's like the worst part of the game. But that's beside the point. Anyway, we're talking about the Nintendo Direct right now, Jason. What's up next?
Yeah, moving on from ARMS. Okay, I haven't played Splatoon, and I'm gonna say the showing here didn't really sell me on playing Splatoon.
It looks like more Splatoon, and I liked Splatoon 2, but I don't love it. I had a good time with it. I reviewed it. Of course, it's on the site. 4 out of 5. But and
plug.
Yeah, it's the stages and gear and stuff, and then a DLC coming out in the summer for single player stuff. And the single player stuff was fun. I enjoyed it. It has some clever level design in there. So.
If I could get Splatoon to like Redbox or something like that, I probably would, just to play the single player, because I'm not really interested in like competitive shooters or whatever. But man, okay, I gotta say this. That Octo expansion, man, they really sexed her up, didn't they?
Also, that trailer of her walking through the train was really long.
One would say too long, and then they like basically showed the footage again.
Yeah, it was.
was a weird decision on that
Yeah,
presentation.
it was a very long time before they clarified that it was single player DLC. Like before any like gameplay was actually shown.
All right, and as a guy who's actually played this, is the music from that part like kind of indicative of what the music is in Splatoon?
Yeah, Squid Core is what they call it.
God.
It's like a weird distorted Dreamcast soundtrack.
I would not mind it if it wasn't for the voices. I could probably deal with it.
The voice stuff is weird. It fits the game. I kind of like. It's like a weird punk thing, and it's weird. It's I think it's all right. I dig some of the songs in there. It's
subjectively, I'm gonna say it's not good. Oh man, you could not get me if that's all, to go with a reference of Joe and I's time and age. If that came on the radio, I couldn't hit the dial fast enough. The voices. I mean, like I said, I can deal with what they were doing, just like musically, but just the voices in there.
There's not every song has voice stuff in it. It's mostly instrumental stuff.
Yeah, but it's just like I said, I can deal with what's there. Yeah. It's just the voices push it to the point like I'm not dealing with it. So
I appreciate the weird. So it's
you can be weird without being offensive to my ears.
At this point, it's just taste. So
I guess. Ugh. For a long time I thought I was the only one that didn't like that kind of music, or not that kind of music, but the Splatoon music. And then I've heard some people kind of on the same boat there with me. I'm like, okay, God, I'm not the only one who doesn't like it. So anyway, let's move on from Splatoon. I guess they're calling it 3.0. I mean, they're gonna add new gear, new stuff, like their new items, and I don't know. I'm not really qualified to talk about it because I don't really have any interest in Splatoon. So, but one thing I thought was kind of cool was this Splatoon like little fake out trailer that they did for Smash Brothers. Because like, man, I gotta say, like the way they were moving around, I was like, oh man, this actually looks kind of cool. I was like, man, if only like the game actually kind of, if there was a way they could make the game play like this, I'd probably be into it. And then they brought out the big Smash Brothers logo thing, and
that super intense shot of Mario. I lost my shit when they had the shot of Mario with like super intense because it was just so dumb. And I literally laughed out loud when I was watching it. And
now the image of the Squid Girl with the Smash Brothers symbol in her eye has now just become the meme of the day, or make a meme of the day thing. So which kind of killed it. I mean, I think within 20 minutes of that video being up, I think it was Brian Altano put up a thing of like Trump's indictment or something like that in her eye, and I'm like, okay, God, that's just, can we not really? It's Splatoon.
Yeah,
but bring it back.
Like I mean, it wouldn't be video games today if you didn't bring politics into it, and
and having a dumb take on something just a joyous
something
trailer.
Completely, exactly, something completely different. Yeah. But anyway, no,
Smash Bros. Coming to Switch.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of people are losing it because they're like, oh my God, they haven't shown anything for Fire Emblem characters, and it's like they'll be in there.
There will be 7 Fire Emblem characters. Don't worry about it.
7?
Just 7?
To start out.
Okay.
They're gonna add DLC.
Okay.
But,
I was gonna say, what is there only gonna be a total of 11 characters and 7 of them are Fire Emblem? Because
there are also a lot of discussion about whether this is a port of the Wii U game or an actual new Smash Bros. I'm assuming it's a new one based on the fact they didn't specify it was like the Wii U one in any way. They usually specify if it's a port like they have for Mario and Hyrule Warrior, Mario Kart and Hyrule Warrior.
Well,
and stuff
what
like
would
that.
they call it? Super Smash Brothers for Wii U, Deluxe for Switch.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. I'm betting they're reusing a lot of assets and stuff, but they're probably just making a whole new game. I kind of hope that there's some kind of single player mode that's a little bit more. What is it? The Subspace Emissary thing that they did on Brawl. Like, I hope there's something like that, because like I enjoy Smash, but it's just I need some kind of single player thing to kind of screw around with and just be ridiculous. I mean, this is already like ridiculous like fanfic fighting game basically. It's like, give me something stupid and fanficky to play like by myself if I want to.
Is there anyone you want in Smash Bros that hasn't been in there yet?
not particularly. Oh no, what's the guy from oh Jesus, from Hotel Dusk?
The Hotel Dusk guy, the dude with the trench coat.
Yeah, I want him. I want him.
I hope I don't know his name. I hope they just call him Hotel Dusk guy.
Oh,
I don't think
God.
anyone's. Yeah, it's
Oh,
what
God,
else? What other?
I hope Alan. I hope Alan
my
isn't listening to this one.
My favorite was someone recommended Doom guy because he was on the
Oh,
N64, and I was like, I would just want the 2016 Doom guy in there with his glory kills, and I would want that in the game.
Kyle Hyde. That's the guy's name. I knew it was
Kyle Hyde.
Kyle Hyde. Yeah.
So people have been trying to fucking guess the silhouettes in the back because, of course, they have been. I'm just gonna wait until they announce it. It's also coming out this year, which was unexpected.
Yeah.
But it was. I was very surprised when it said 2018. So yeah, I like Smash Bros. So,
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. So.
Yeah, I'm just kind of lamenting the fact that there's going to be like 400 Fire Emblem characters because, man, I think Joe, Joe, it was you and I were talking about this last time. It was just they're going to run that series into the ground,
which is a shame because I really do enjoy it, but they really are gonna.
The last one was that Dynasty Warriors one. Was it the last?
Fire Emblem Heroes.
I heard it's pretty good. I just haven't played it, and
I've enjoyed what I've played of it, except there's no Donald. I mean, fucking really. They have an NPC that looks exactly like Donald. He's wearing the same shirt, got the same fucking stupid dented pot on his head, and it's not Donald.
You need to write your uncle on Nintendo about that. I've barely played any Fire Emblem games ever, so I don't have a lot of experience. The most experience I have with Fire Emblem characters is from Smash Bros. So.
Well, up until Awakening, that was pretty much most of everybody in the world's experience, I think, because even outside of Japan, Radiance or even in Japan, it didn't do very well, or wasn't doing very well. Because, like, remember, right? Like, Awakening was supposed to be the last one. If it didn't do the trick, that was it. No, the series was done. I think they were pulling the plug on it.
I think they did great, and then they released that 3 part 1 or the 3 different game one.
Yeah. Oh God.
That was pretty. Yeah, that was pretty cynical. I think. I don't know the way they did that. I still haven't finished that one.
Because they had the easy version and the hard version, and then the mixed between both version or something like that.
Version of the characters, basically. So.
Yeah.
One would say if not so. If one's not so cynical, you might say ambitious. But I think they really tried that whatchamacallit, the Pokemon thing, where it's like, hey, let's release 2 different versions and then have a third one in there. That's the same fucking thing, basically.
It works for Pokemon every time.
Yeah.
So
it works for them. I mean, why not? Oh God, this okay.
You think we see that?
Granted, it sold pretty well, but it's no Pokemon.
Yeah, you think we've seen him Pokemon at E3 or whatever the next direct is?
That's kind of what I'm thinking, because they haven't shown, or they sort of blew their wad with the Smash Brothers thing. It's like, what else could you possibly have?
But that and Metroid Prime 4 is the ones they haven't shown anything of yet, but we know they're out there.
Yeah, but I mean, I bet Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a while still. There's no way that's coming out this year.
Oh, absolutely not. I don't think Pokemon would either.
No.
So Smash Bros is their big game this year. And that's a solid one that's going to make a lot of money for them.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, as we talked about from this whole thing, I mean they're not slowing down. They've got third-party support, and they've got a pretty decent first-party lineup for this year so far. So it's like, okay, looks like they're doing all right. So
it's not gonna be quite the same as not quite the first year success, but I mean it's gonna be a solid second year from what I can tell.
Yeah,
so,
I think they did the right thing in blowing their proverbial wad at the first year just to get everyone on board with it.
Yeah, like, get Zelda and Mario in the same year. It's like, come on,
that's it's like okay. Hey, we're putting like our two best franchises, or two favorite franchises on here, and I just want to show you what this thing is capable of and how great of a system it is, and this way maybe we can actually retain third-party support for a change. So,
yeah, we'll see what news-wise they have coming up though, because they've most of their big hitters are out there now, or at least I guess they're probably going to show Smash Brothers at E3 or their direct next to E3 or whatever the fuck they do. But
I don't know what that is. So just
their
Nintendo
treehouse thing,
doing their own thing. Yeah. So. All right, real quick, let's wrap this up here with a little bit of off Nintendo news. Something we Yeah, we actually did talk about this. The Rainbow Six Siege outbreak thing that is going on from March 6th, which is, as I was recording a few days ago, and April 3rd. I'm gonna try to jump online and get on with this thing with Gore. State of Decay 2, I am super excited about, and God, I hope Alan, friend of the show, Alan Averill, formerly of the Treehouse, now sort of a freelance localization guy, but works a lot for 8-4 Play. I'm really hoping he gets an Xbox One, because I promised him an Xbox One if he didn't get one by the time this game came out, so we could play together. So I got till May. I guess I better start saving my pennies just in case for May 22nd. So, although that might be a good reason for me to get an Xbox One X, and then I'll send him my old Xbox One. So
I would like to play that game, but I don't have a One or One X.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this game. It is coming out at $30, which kind of a surprising price point, and they're also saying no microtransactions. So
I hope it's not buggy.
Cool. It's gonna be buggy.
Yeah, I hope it's not as buggy as the first one.
As long as they didn't have that thing where they did the original iteration of that game where it would keep track of everything in real time. So if you didn't play that game for a couple days, you could come back to your game being totally fucked because everybody would be dead. That was a dumb decision.
That's a choice.
Yeah, they patched that out pretty quickly, and once they did, oh man, that game for me that game completely turned around. Like I got turned off by that, and then I read online that they had patched it and took that out basically, and I was like, okay, let's start again, knowing what I know. Let's start from scratch, and then oh man, yeah, I dug that game completely. So that is one of my favorites of last generation. So anyway, something we had talked about on the Wii U episode, the Wii U Pro controller, probably one of my favorite controllers that's come out, maybe not ever, but pretty close to ever. You can use this on the Switch if you use the 8BitDo's Bluetooth little thing. It looks like the little blocks from Mario. You can also use a DualShock 4 or an Xbox One controller if that's your jam, so it's kind of a cool little thing. I guess maybe you might even be able to use a Steam controller if you want to be really fucking weird about it, so I don't know what good that would do, but it's Bluetooth, so the option's probably there. But yeah, anyway, Wii U Pro controller, that for me, that's just like, oh no, that's a duh. For whenever Virtual Console or whatever its successor is going to be, that I'm using that Pro controller because man, there's no good D-pad on the Joy-Con, and that the Switch Pro controller is just too heavy for my taste. And that D-pad just isn't. It doesn't feel like a Nintendo D-pad. It almost feels like a cross between like the original Xbox's D-pad and a Nintendo D-pad. It's like somewhere in the middle there, and it's just I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me. So, which is saying something for the company that invented the damn D-pad, basically. So, kind of speaking of that, Kamiya is how did he put it? He's threatening Nintendo that they need to announce Virtual Console and a crossbar D-pad on a Joy-Con, or maybe they'll lose enthusiasm for Bayo 3. Yeah, I would love to see. I would love to see him try to pull that shit.
Yeah, Kamiya has always been outspoken. He's gonna. It's a interesting choice of words, seeing as how they funded the second one.
Mm-hmm. And probably funding the third one too would be my guess.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, I guess we're gonna forget. I guess we're gonna lose enthusiasm to pay you. So.
Yeah, and they also just canceled their biggest project recently, that Dragon. What the fuck's it?
Scalebound, right?
Scalebound, yeah, Scalebound.
How much? I mean, how far along was that?
I mean, they were showing multiple gameplay demos of it, so who knows?
I mean, people were playing that at E3 and stuff.
Yeah,
people were playing it.
It did not look like what I wanted when I did see it, though, the actual gameplay of it. But I'm still curious about it as a fan of character action games and Platinum games when they're good.
If I'm recalling correctly, you said between that and Sea of Thieves, you were considering getting an Xbox One.
Sea of Thieves definitely. Scalebound, when I finally saw gameplay, I was not too into it.
Yeah.
But Sea of Thieves, if I had friends to play with, I'd still totally into playing that game.
And one of the only guys that has an Xbox One has no interest in Sea of Thieves. So
yeah,
sorry, man.
I love.
It's just.
I'm a pirate
it's really
fan,
a shame that they. It's just a shame that they canceled it though, because they have so few. Well, I mean, it's. I don't know. I think it's terrible when they cancel a game that obviously people wanted, even if it wasn't going to turn out like that. Well, I don't know, but that was just they just pulled the plug, blam,
Yeah,
and that was it.
Yeah, done. So
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft basically like went, just like just glassing that game. Like they took it off their YouTube channel. I mean, any mention of it on their websites. Like they just nuked the shit out of that thing. I was kind of surprised like how quickly they pulled the plug on that thing. I was just like, okay, it's like there's rumors going around, like I think that or like that morning that it was getting canceled, and then they confirmed it was canceled, and just like everything from Microsoft end of it, of just trailers and everything, was just gone. It's like, oh, okay, well that certainly that escalated a little bit. So, but anyway, that's all the news I've got there. So, John, you had a little bit you wanted to go run down real quick.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't bring this up, but Black Ops 4 got announced and got a release date, October 12th of this year. And the thing that's notable for me here is not that it's Black Ops 4. I'm probably the biggest Call of Duty fan here, and I'm still not that big of a fan anymore. But
I don't think there's much of a probably to that.
yeah, I enjoy Call of Duty when it's good. It's one of my favorite games ever, and the second one also. So, but I've they just diminishing returns again. It's one of those cases. Anyway, the thing that's interesting here is that it was releasing October 12th, which is like a month earlier than they've been releasing for like the past decade, which is, and it like leaves me with like questions like, is it because they're scared of Battlefield 2, World War II, right? That's the one that's what they're saying they're going to be. It's rumored, I guess,
Yeah,
World War II.
Going around is it's going from World War I to 2, and they're just going to call it Battlefield 2, which I don't know, kind of a dumb name.
Yeah, but whatever. It's not.
Where's my Bad Company 3, motherfuckers?
Oh my god, I'd be so happy. I love Bad Company games, 2 especially. But yeah. So, and I can't. They haven't even given it a date yet, though. So it'd be kind of weird to announce your date that much sooner than a game that hasn't even got one. So I think it means Activision has something. I mean, they have something big planned in my mind.
Yeah, something that they've got.
Yeah.
Or this just kind of came to my mind. Those Call of Duty games tend to have a long tail sales wise.
They do. Maybe
what they're thinking is they put it out that early. They'll get the huge initial rush of sales, and then get another big rush just before the holidays again.
Yeah, they could. I mean, Activision, they're always thinking about the next billion, so they're yeah. So I could totally be a reason. I think I'm more hoping it's something big. Maybe, I mean, known franchises, and maybe, which I'd be surprised if it came out already, but Titanfall 3 could be a
Ghost.
StarCraft Ghost.
It's happening, people.
Oh man, StarCraft Ghost.
There was a game I think that came out on the Switch or the 3DS eShop, and it was Star Ghost.
Yeah.
And
DJ Hero 3. Anyone?
It was just like, what just happened there?
Yeah. Stargate, DJ Hero, maybe a new Guitar Hero. Is their big seller?
If they do DJ Hero 2, I want to.
No, there is a DJ Hero 2 already exists.
Oh,
the game
3? Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be 3.
Okay. The whole Millennium album better be on there then.
The whole one. Wow. Yeah, so I'm curious now. Maybe it's Destiny, I guess. That maybe their big expansion, but I assume that's coming out in September, like the previous one did. They kind of go for a year cycle, so that'd be a little later than the last game.
I don't know. Maybe they're looking something or sooner rather than later with Destiny though, because it's that seemed to have fallen off like real quick.
Definitely, like even faster, like much faster than the first one did, because the first one had like those weird fans that were into like the really abrasive grind of that game, but this one kind of gave you everything faster than most people wanted it, so it's kind of like they went too far in the direction, and now people have nothing to do in the game.
Yeah.
So. And I still love that game. I haven't played it in a long time though, which is fine with me. I play it when it's fine for my playing schedule, but that's a whole other conversation.
I love Tactics Ogre, but I don't play it every fucking day. So
yeah,
right.
You don't have to play a game every day to love it. So
yeah, so I feel like I'm in the minority at this point of people that love Destiny 2, but whatever. So yeah, I'm curious what Activision is going to do at E3 now. This is maybe more curious than I would have been before. I hope it's a new IP. They need one at this point. They're kind of, I mean, they're still making a lot of money with all their stuff, but I mean, at some
Yeah,
point,
they do own Blizzard, so they're doing just fine.
yeah, but they do need because, well, I don't remember what their last new IP was.
Was it Destiny?
Yeah, I think that was.
I think it was. I guess you can count Blizzard's Overwatch, but Activision side, it would probably be Destiny. So, and that was, so yeah, I think it's maybe they're, and if they think it's going to be bigger than Call of Duty, that's also intriguing. So, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's
not necessarily thinking it's going to be, but they're thinking the holiday push might be good for whatever they've got in mind there.
Yeah. So that's about all I want to say on that. The actual Black Ops 4, I'll see what they do with that, if I want to play it or not. They went too far future on this. The third one did not do it for me. So
I completely forgot they made a third one until you had told me off the air that there's a fourth one. I'm like, that's right.
The third one, not my favorite.
But what about Ghosts 2? We're still waiting on that cliffhanger.
They released 2 Call of Duty games this year. There you
go. That's the big thing.
Yeah, they're releasing They're releasing 2 Call of Duties this year.
Oh,
yeah, at that point they're at Ubisoft level with Assassin's Creed. Yeah.
Yeah. They can. Ubisoft finally figured out maybe we should slow down.
It's like we went from annual to 2 a year. We should probably back the fuck up a little bit.
Rogue is coming out this year. You guys remember that? You guys remember Rogue? That's coming out on PS4 and 360 and Xbox One this year.
Yep, where you play as an assassin who goes against the assassins, and then I'm betting has a change of heart at the end.
I don't know, Jason. That seems kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't think they do anything that nutty in a. Anyway,
it's a very grounded series.
I still have to play We Was Kangs. The We Was Kangs edition. No, I hear it's pretty good. I just haven't gotten around to it.
The Origins.
Yeah. Whatever.
Jason liked Origins a lot. I haven't played it, but yeah.
I'm really surprised with how much I liked it.
I really like Syndicate a lot, but I have not played Origins.
Yeah, so. Bayek is probably the first Assassin's Creed character I've actually kind of given a shit about. So.
I mean, I liked Ezio like a lot of people did. I also liked.
I did too, but his demeanor sort of wore on me after a while.
I liked for Edward. What's the fuck's his last name? I'm drawing a blank on his last name now.
Yeah.
I liked him in 4. I liked 4 is my favorite Assassin's Creed, and it's like the least Assassin's Creed, but it's my favorite one. And I liked his arc in that one. It had a very, very touching little ending too.
I need to play that one. My wife, she was really into the Assassin's Creed games, and she played through all of them up until 3, and then she was like, "I'm done."
3, that's a lot of people. 3 did that to a lot of people.
She just, I mean, and I actually have never, played primarily. She's been the main player on those, and she was like, whatever. I mean, she's kind of busy with stuff for school, but it's like she just really didn't like Connor. She didn't like any of the, I don't know. The part she liked was the ships, and that's what I hear that 4 is really great.
Oh,
because, focus.
Sailing is the best fucking part.
Yeah, and I hear that I did hear that Edward was a better character and just like
he's charming. So he's a good main character. I don't think he gets enough credit because I mean he's not like an amazing character by any means, but I enjoyed him as lead.
Right, but she was. But I've been trying to get her to play that since it came out, and she's like, nope, I'm done with it. Don't care anymore. But
a lot of people liked
at some point, because it does look fun. So
the combat kind of turns me off. That's why I haven't played it yet. And also I liked the original Assassin's Creed structure like they had, and this one kind of changes it in a way that's good. Like they need to change, but I think it changed it too much for my personal taste, to where it's kind of scared me off of playing it a bit. But I still will probably end up playing it eventually. And moving on to the last bit of news here, this is Mr. Gabe Newell of Valve says they're going to make games again. Everyone, they had because they just had a presentation about Artifact, their new card game. Because everyone's got a card game now. Every big publisher has to have a card game. And he's like, this is the first of several games coming from the studio, and they haven't. I don't remember the last major release they had was. That wasn't Dota 2 or
was it Portal 2?
Yes. Yeah. Which was 2012.
Man.
Yeah. So I am a fan of Valve generally. I like Half-Life, I like Left 4 Dead. I like their shooters. I think they make very good shooters. I like Team Fortress 2. Portal's great. I don't know if I want another Portal, but I do like the Portal games. Anyway, like they said that they haven't been making games because he was concerned about PCs becoming a closed system, and he kind of wanted to create his own tech so he could kind of control it, because he took inspiration from Nintendo, making their own hardware, and so where they could kind of maximize the potential of their hardware because they know what, like, forwards and backwards, kind of with like Zelda and Mario is always being like the best games on those systems because they're made by Nintendo, the company that makes the system. So that's kind of like his thought process. So VR is probably going to be. He says they have 3 VR games on the way. I believe Artifact is one of the VR games. It's also a VR game. I think it's probably both. But yeah, Half-Life 3 announced at E3. Everyone, here you heard it here first. They're gonna announce Half-Life 3. It's actually gonna be.
Maybe they should do episode 3 first.
I think it would be hilarious if they made episode 3. So yeah, so I would like a new Half-Life. I like the Half-Life games. I would like a new Left 4 Dead. So I don't know how you guys feel about how you guys feel about Valve as a shooter. As a person who loves shooters, they hold a special place in my heart. So,
I had some fun with Team Fortress 2 on the 360 when it was on the orange box. I kind of liked Portal. Haven't played the second one, but I just wasn't over the moon about the original Portal. I mean, I liked it. I was just like, okay, this was fun.
Second one's really good. Came out same day as Mortal Kombat 9. So
that's a weird bit of trivia to have in your head.
Yeah, it's because I love both games.
Okay.
Yeah. It's 2011. I said 2012 earlier. It's 2011. But yeah.
Joe, you got any hard feelings one way or the other on Valve?
I've never really been into PC games. I mean, I liked the original Half-Life. I just never really got into playing anything after that. And then I was I arrived a little too late for the orange box when it, I got my 360 kind of late, so I just never really got around to playing it. So because everybody else had kind of moved on, I guess. But so I never really played Team Fortress 2. I really loved the original Team Fortress. Well, it wasn't really the original because it wasn't the one in the one that you could play that came with Half-Life, not the one that used to Quake models and stuff like that. I really liked that. I played that a lot when I was in my sophomore year of college, and it was but then I couldn't play it anymore because we moved off campus and our internet speed sucked, so it was like couldn't so I was like, oh well. But I mean, I know a lot of people are really looking forward to it, so I think it's a good thing if they can actually and I don't think that they're gonna do a game if they can't make a decent quality product. I mean, that kind of seems like they're pretty strict about their output. It's not like they're just going to throw something together. It is going to be weird though. Cause I don't know for sure, but aren't most of the people that were involved with, the original Half-Life and Half-Life 2 and stuff are they kind of gone or?
Yeah. Most of the original people are gone.
So there was this article on Game Informer's website. I think Andrew Reiner wrote it. But it was like what the hell happened to Half-Life 3, basically. I think it came out last year. It was a pretty interesting read. Just seeing how the whole project kind of just got scattered to the wind. Basically, it's just oh, that's interesting. So I don't know if I'm not that invested in Half-Life. I never played the first one. I played the second one and the part, and maybe a couple hours of the first episode of 2, but that's kind of as far as I got. So I'm not that invested. And if it comes out, I'll go back and finish it, or I don't know. I'm sort of up in the air about it because at this point, like going back to the original Half-Life might be a little rough. I don't know. The second one seems to have held up okay over the years. I don't know though. It's been a while since I played it.
Second one holds up pretty well. It's like 14 years old at this point, but it holds up pretty well. The orange box is a great thing. If they just released the orange box 2 with all these games they're talking about, I'd be okay with that. The orange box is one of my favorite like releases ever, just because it's just such a unique.
There's
thing.
a lot. There was a ton on there.
It's like $60 and you get Half-Life 2 in both episodes. And episode 2 was new. Portal and Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
All in one.
Yeah,
all in one disc.
Release.
Yeah.
That was actually I got a good memory of like my I was working at GameStop and the day it came out and like I just was broke as shit that day, and my grandma came in and with were we married yet? I don't remember. But my wife and they were just like came in to like have lunch with me. And my grandma was like, "Is there a game you want, Jason?" I was like, "Oh, there's this Half-Life game or this Half-Life thing I was looking at." And she was like, "Well, what? I'll just get it for you." And she bought it for me, and I've just had it ever since. I was like, "Oh, that was a good purchase." So,
yeah,
good thing to get on a whim.
That's a hell of a thing. Yeah, so yeah, that's about all I got up for Valve though. Otherwise, I just want a new Half-Life. I'd even be okay with a remastered version of the first two, like an actual like or a ground up remake kind of thing.
Oh,
they want to do that.
Do you think anybody?
No. I want the reaction too.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, do you think?
I want the whole.
Do you think Valve would survive that? God damn.
I would lose my shit if they put a trailer out and then it turned out it was just the first one again. Oh my god, I'd lose my shit. It'd be so
there's been
funny.
Like this fan remake called Black Mesa or something like that. Where it's like putting it into like the Half-Life 2 engine or something like that, and like it looked really pretty from what I saw. So I don't know. Maybe they did what they've done with everyone else that they kind of scooped them up and like, hey, why don't you not do this and you can make it over here for us. So I mean, that's BioWare's hiring process for a while was like, like what give us your best module that you built for Neverwinter Nights,
Yeah, I think Neverwinter Nights just released on Steam today. Speaking of that game,
is it on Steam? I was gonna say because I think that's been on GOG for a while.
Yeah,
so.
I'm pretty sure I saw something about it being on Steam now. But yes, Half-Life did a lot for storytelling and shooters, and the second one did a lot for physics and shooters and storytelling also.
Yeah,
environmental storytelling. But so they're. Yeah, I don't know what the third one could possibly if it could ever be as game changing as those two were at this point, because it's been so long.
Oh God, I doubt it.
Yeah. So if they were to find a way to be that game changing again, that'd be nuts. But at this point, it's all incremental like shifts in games, because it feels like so.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like we've kind of gotten to a point where there's really no new frontier to be. Reached.
At least that we can tell, I guess. VR is
you
kind
never
of a
know.
thing, so, but VR is still very, very young and not close to there yet. So, at least software-wise, although I would trust Valve to be the one to. What if they made Half-Life 3 a VR game? They'd do it. Like
that's probably the reaction you're gonna get from everyone.
Yeah,
like,
they really at E3 and Half-Life 3 is out now in VR.
Jeez.
Oh boy, I do wonder. I don't know. I want to get on the VR train, but I just can't see myself getting into it. So
I keep thinking about getting a PSVR.
I've thought about it because you can get like a used one for like $250 now. I think at GameStop.
Yeah, and there's a decent amount of software on there too that I'm interested in trying out. I would play through Resident Evil 7 again, or at least a chunk of it, just to see it. I'm worried about motion. I do have some sort of motion, some motion sickness at times. So I've always been worried about if VR would mess with me that way. Yeah. I don't know if I'd get, but I do want to try it. So, and Super Hot VR is also one I really want to play. But yeah, so that's Valve.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, I agree with you, Joe. It's I don't know. I mean, at our age, it does maybe seem like it's getting harder and harder to get minute ideas. It just I don't know. Like everything else everything that we've seen lately that's been like, oh my god, this is incredible. It's just been an iteration of something that's come before, and just
and it doesn't mean that there's not going to be new good ideas or improvements.
Yeah, like
on
the Nemesis system from Shadow of War was a big one.
Yeah,
and then even though or Shadow of Mordor. Which one? Shadow of Mordor is the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Even though no one's copied that for whatever fucking reason.
Yeah, I can't figure out why people have been ripping that off wholesale.
Yeah, so there's still, shifts happening. I guess the Battle Royale thing is not new, but it's pretty big right now. It's just all it took was one game to popularize it. So.
Yeah, and then somehow Fortnite has become just the alternate version of it. It's like
that game. I just don't think I like that game. I've played it multiple times since I personally. About it.
So
I want to play PUBG. I hate calling it that. I want to play that.
You can hear the disdain in your voice as like half a second after a roll. I want to play. It's like I want to play PUBG. Ugh.
Yeah,
I just said it.
I want to play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
So.
Well, all right, guys. I think that probably about wraps it up there. We've been going a little bit longer than I thought we were going to, but I mean, there was a lot to talk about with that direct there. So, anyway, you can check us out on the internet at gamesandjunk.net. All our social media links are up there. You can follow me on Twitter at Jason Arriola. You can follow John at JohnOsera777, and Joe, we can follow you at JoeStar Son. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
JoeStarSan.
All right, cool. You saved me the effort of stumbling through spelling that. Thank you.
Not to worry about it. No, it's fine.
Cool. All right. Well, that has been this episode of the podcast, and we will talk at you guys next time.